Our next broadcast is a radio and television comedy series that ran for over 3 decades, from 1932 to 1955 on radio and from 1950 to 1965 on television. It won numerous awards, including the 1959 Emmy for Best Comedy Show, and is generally regarded as the high watermark in 20th century American comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Jack Benny Program on HOJO Radio.
J-E-L-L. The Jello Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra. The orchestra opens the program with I'm in a Dancing Mood from the picture This'll Make You Whistle. Only 16 more shopping days from now till Christmas. 16 busy days, each day busier than the one before. 16 days with little time for planning or preparing your daily menus. So stock up on Jell-O right now, because with Jell-O in your kitchen, you'll never be at a loss for a delicious, easily prepared dessert. You'll save time and trouble whenever you serve Jell-O, and its refreshing taste, its bright, cheerful color are a happy prelude to Christmas time. Jell-O is always welcome, for Jell-O is always enjoyable with its fine, fresh fruit taste. More of the flavor of real ripe fruit. More skillfully blended. These are the reasons for Jell-O's added richness. No other gelatin dessert has Jell-O's extra rich fruit flavor. So make sure you get the real thing. Insist on genuine Jell-O. That was I'm in a Dancing Mood, played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you that, Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
What's the matter with your eye?
Nothing. Why?
Well, it looks kind of swollen and discolored.
It's nothing. Go on and introduce me, will you? This isn't television.
Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you that genial fellow with the gray suit and the black eye, Jack Benny.
Hello again. This is Smiling Jack Benny coming to you in his usual good spirits and never felt better in his life. And tonight, folks...
No kidding, Jack. What happened to your eye?
Well, Don, if you must know, I was on my way over tonight in a great hurry, and I drove into a filling station to get some gas and got into an argument with the attendant. I finally lost my temper and knocked him down.
You did?
Yeah. Then I got up and he knocked me down again. Well, this went on for about 3 minutes, and then I took a terrific swing at him, hit him on the jaw, and he went out like a light.
Well, then what happened?
I finally got away without having my windshield cleaned. Look, Don, look. All I wanted was a little gas, that's all. Is that asking too much?
No, of course not.
I didn't want my fenders manicured or any rose water in my radiator. I just wanted a little gas.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Of course, I'll admit I shouldn't have lost my temper amidst such glamorous surroundings. You know what these California gas stations are like.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, what kind of a gas station was it?
What kind? Don, have you ever seen the Taj Mahal by moonlight? With its marble pillars and sunken gardens?
Yes.
Well, just put 3 gas pumps in front of it and you've got it. Well, to tell the truth, I didn't mind so much when the man insisted on cleaning my windshield. But when he started to wash my face, that was going just a little too far.
I don't blame you, Jack. You know, I must drop in there for gas sometime if it's that swanky.
By all means. And if you do, Don, be sure to ask for Oscar. He's the maître de lubrication.
Meanwhile, Jack, you better have your eye attended to. It's getting worse.
Oh, it'll go away.
Hello, Jack. Do you look good?
I do.
Take a look at his eye, Mary.
Oh. Hello, Jack. Do you look bad? What happened?
Oh, nothing. I had an argument with a guy who was selling me something, that's all.
You're some sap to buy a black eye.
I didn't buy it. It was given to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it for a gift.
Don't be comical. Anyway, you ought to see the other guys. Hey, I can always take care of myself.
Well, then why do you let that Phil Harris bulldoze you all the time? That guy gets away with murder.
Oh, no, he doesn't. After what I told him last week, he's plenty worried. Believe me, Don, there's not room on this program for both me and Phil Harris. Is there, Mary?
I'm not talking till after Christmas.
Oh. You know, Jack, Phil's late again today.
I know it, and I'm just waiting for him to get here, that's all. And you'll hear the... Well, just wait till he gets here.
Now, don't do anything rash, Jack.
Don't worry, he won't.
Oh, no?
Here comes Phil now, and Kenny's with him.
Oh, he's got Kenny that way, too.
Yeah, and then I stuffed the pill under my shirt and made off like I was fat.
Oh, gee, that's good. You're funnier than Jack.
Who isn't? Hello, Buck.
Hiya, Jack.
Now, come here, Kenny. What's the idea of walking in here 10 minutes late?
Well, I was with Phil.
Now, don't change the subject. I've had enough of your actions coming in here late every week.
This is the first time. It's Phil that's
And
always...
furthermore, I don't like your attitude one bit. Neglecting your work and running around with girls.
I don't have any girls. It's Phil
Well,
that's...
cut it out, that's all.
Oh, leave him alone, Jack. He's a lovable dope.
Yeah. Now, look, Kenny, you're just a kid, and you've got your whole life before you. You ought to watch your step. See, do you want to grow up to be like Phil Harris?
Do I? Wow!
Well, you can't do it on this program. Either straighten yourself out or I'll do it for you.
Say, Jack, it's Phil's fault. Why don't you bawl him out?
Listen, Mary, I'm just ignoring him. That hurts a lot more than a bawling out, believe me.
Well, he's standing there kidding with the orchestra. He doesn't look hurt.
Say, a smile covers many a broken heart. Oh, Don, while you're over there, ask Mr. Harris to play the next number.
Why don't you ask him yourself?
I don't want to talk to him. First thing you know, we'll get into an argument, and after all, I've only got one good eye.
And you want to keep that open.
Yeah. Phil's the type who'll take advantage of my condition. Tell him to play, Don.
Hey, Jack, well, you're acting like a kid. Come on, snap out of it. What's the matter with you anyway? If I did anything wrong, I'm sorry. Let's shake hands and make up.
Go on, Jack. Shake hands with him.
Oh, no, it's probably a trick to break my arm. I wasn't born yesterday. Thought he'd catch me off my guard.
Jack, that's ridiculous.
Well, that's the dirtiest trick yet, the big bully.
You better play, Phil.
Okay.
Imagine breaking a guy's arm when he can only see out of one eye. That's the most brutal thing. And look at him now, picking up that stick. He's going to hit me.
That's his baton. He's getting ready to lead the orchestra.
Oh, I bet he's got it full of lead, the big dope. That was I'm in Love with a Brand New Baby, played by Strangler Lewis and his orchestra. Which would have been rendered much more effectively if their leader got to bed nights. Mary, get a load of Phil pretending to be busy over that sheet of music. I bet he's got a phone number written on it someplace.
I'll bet it's a good one.
Yeah. He brags plenty. I've seen some of those girls he goes out with. They're not so hot.
You said it.
Yeah.
I saw him out with a girl last night, and she wasn't a bit better looking than Loretta Young.
He don't care who he goes out with as long as she splits the check.
Hey, funny man, was that last crack meant for me?
Well, was it? It wasn't meant for Paul Whiteman. So if the shoe fits, put it where it belongs.
Don't tempt him, Jack.
That's so. He talks a great fight.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. I've tried to be a regular fella, but you've gone a little too far. Enough is enough.
Oh, you've had enough, huh? You see, Mary, he gives up the coward. That's what he is.
Coward? Why, you swell-headed. You swell-headed...
Punk.
You swell-headed punk. I'll take care of you.
Oh, you will, eh? Well, if I had the use of both of my eyes, I'd give you something to write home about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For heaven's sake, fellas, what's the matter with you? Ladies and gentlemen, when you order Jell-O for your dessert, insist on genuine Jell-O. Look for the big red letters on the box. And remember, it comes in 6 delicious flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
Yeah. Look at that silly goof.
Now, wait a minute. You're not talking to Kenny Baker, you know.
I'll say you're not.
You keep out of there. You hear?
Don't worry, Kenny. I'll take care of him.
You and who else? Ha! Top that one, big boy. Say, Mary, look at him standing there with a chip on his shoulder.
Quiet, it might be muscle.
Yeah, it would be just like him to hide muscle under his coat. The sneak. I'm so mad my ears are ringing.
That's the phone.
Oh. Hello? Who? It's for you, Mary. Plainfield calling.
Plainfield?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mama. How did you happen to call? What? Oh, they're fighting as usual.
Gee, everybody knows about it.
No, don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Oh, it isn't that bad, Mama. I don't have to get under the piano.
You see, Phil?
No, Mama. Jack didn't break Phil's arm. Phil broke Jack's arm.
I did not.
I don't want to disappoint Mama.
No, that's so.
Yes? Yes, Mama, it's too bad about Jack's eye. What? Well, give my love to everybody. Goodbye.
Well, what are you laughing at?
Mama said if you kept your mouth shut, your eye'd be open.
Oh, she did, huh? Well, why don't she join this program? We're sort of comedians.
Say, Jack,
What?
Kenny wants to sing his song now, and he's afraid to mention it.
Well, let him sing. Why ask me? Nobody around here seems to worry much about what I think.
Should I sing now?
Yes, Kenny, go ahead. Don't bother asking me. I'm just a stooge around here anyway.
Oh, no, you're not, Jack.
No, not much. No. I'm surprised I'm allowed to talk. Sing, Kenny. Go ahead. Your pal Harris will cooperate with you.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Yes, anytime. In the middle of one of my jokes, if you want to. Don't mind me. Nobody else does. The next orchestra lead I hire is either going to be a gentleman or smaller than I am. Sing, Kenny. What are you waiting for? Sing!
I find my lips meeting your lips until the dawn's early light. I find my arms holding your charms long after we've said goodnight. Close to me, you're so close to me, and I can't reach your heart. Your very wish would be my command. I hold my breath when when I hold your hand. Close to me, you're so close to me, and somehow we're so far apart. I could reach the top of a mountain or the deepest part of the sea. Here you are, so close to me, and I can't reach your
That was Close to Me, sung by Kenny Baker, accompanied by the Jell-O Orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we were supposed to continue our serial, Buck Benny Rides Again. As you will remember, last Sunday night, the play ended with Buck Benny having just cornered Cactus Face Elmer, the outlaw, in Ike Muller's saloon. But Cactus Face, using unfair tactics, like some other people I'm associated with, made good his escape. Meanwhile, up to this very moment, we have been unable to locate Cactus Face. So tonight, we will have to discontinue Buck Benny.
Aww.
It hurts me too, fellas. Kind of had my heart in that there character. But anyway, not to disappoint our listeners altogether, tonight we are going to present an original society drama entitled Money Ain't Everything. Or, oh yeah? I will play the part of J. Stuyvesant Schnorrer, an American millionaire who is cruising the Mediterranean on his luxurious yacht.
I will be his daughter, I imagine.
Yes. Don Wilson will play the captain of the boat, and as a special added attraction, he will not mention our product.
Not at all, Jack.
Not one single flavor.
Shucks.
Kenny Baker will play the part of a bogus prince. And owing to the shortage of actors, our orchestra leader will play the part of Kenny's brother, who is also bogus. And I don't mean only in the play. What? This will go on immediately after the next number, which will be rendered by that Vine Street playboy and his yes man. Mary, take a quick look and see if Phil is burning up with him. Mr. Rhythm from the big broadcast of 1937. And now for our play, Money Ain't Everything. The scene takes place on the palatial yacht of that well-known millionaire, J. Stuyvesant Schnorrer, which is cruising the peaceful Mediterranean with a gay party of moochers aboard. We now take you to the yacht, Bad Check, which is bouncing all over the Mediterranean. Curtain, music, waves. Mrs. Vanderveer. Mrs. Vanderveer,
Yes, Mr. Schnorrer.
you'll have to ask your little boy to put back the steering wheel. We've been going around in a circle for 3 days.
How do you know?
We just bumped into the back of the boat.
Very well.
Oh, Mr. Schnorrer, look. We're heading straight for an iceberg.
An iceberg where?
Right ahead of you.
That's Wilson, and he's cold. Oh, Captain,
Yes, Mr. Schnorrer?
I wish you'd put a bottom in our swimming pool. I've lost 3 of my best friends. And by the way, have you seen my daughter?
She's about someplace, sir.
Well, I must find her.
Begging your pardon, sir, I must warn you about your daughter.
Really?
There are fortune hunters aboard, and now that she's twice as rich as ever before, every day millions of people propose to her.
Now, Captain, are you sure it's my daughter's interest you have at heart?
Yes, and I hope the man she marries will be half as true as the extra-rich true fruit flavor of my favorite dessert.
Thank you, Captain. I'm glad you think as much of my daughter as you do of your job. Ah, here she comes now.
Hello, Peter.
That's Pater. Tell me, daughter, where have you been?
Up on the poop deck drinking pop.
That's a pip.
You said it, Pap.
My child, you look worried tonight. What's on your mind?
Prince Boris and Prince Morris have asked me to marry them, and I don't know which one to accept.
You mean those bogus noblemen? Why, they're nothing but fortune hunters. Where are they now?
Down in the coal bin playing shovelboard.
That's calling a spade a spade. Now, my dear child, why do you want to marry either one of those designing schemers? They're only after my money.
That's not true.
It is true, and you know that such a marriage cannot last.
Oh, you say that every time I get married.
And I'm always right. You've had enough rice thrown at you to fill the Hollywood Bowl. Weddings, husbands, every year a new honeymoon. Why do you get married so often?
I got a boyfriend in Niagara Falls.
Well, one thing you can be sure of, young lady. I won't stand for either one of those fake princes.
Pardon me, Mr. Schnorrer.
Yes?
The stowaways are complaining about the food.
Well, tell them to throw it overboard.
They did, and the sharks threw it back.
What's the score?
Oh, Peter, here come the 2 princes now. Ah, Prince Boris.
Mademoiselle.
Prince Morris.
Mademoiselle.
Quiet, Prince. Oh, Peter, I want you to meet Boris and Morris. They've been on your yacht for 3 months.
Oh, so that's who they are. I saw them in the dining room so often, I thought they were the waiters. Give me back my tips.
Phooey on you.
That goes for me, too.
You I'm not worried about. Now, your highnesses, I understand that both of you bums are in love with my daughter. Is that right?
Yes.
And you want to marry my daughter?
Yes.
And if I was broke, would you still want to marry her?
Yes.
Just as I thought. I won't stand for this, daughter. You can't marry either one of them.
Oh, but I love him, Father.
Which one?
The one in the middle.
You need glasses. Where did he come from?
The pup deck.
Well, let's get down to facts. Even if I should permit this marriage, Your Excellencies, only one of you tramps can be her husband.
I have an idea. We'll toss a coin to decide. Have you a coin, brother?
No, have you?
No.
Then we'll fight a duel.
Good. Daughter, leave the yacht.
I want to watch.
Leave the yacht, I say.
Okay.
Doggone it, I meant leave the room. Oh, Captain. Captain, my daughter fell overboard. Fish her out of the water.
What'll I use for bait?
A mink coat. She'll snap at that. And I'm not kidding, fella. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, let's go on with the duel, gentlemen. Here are the pistols.
Mine's okay.
Hey, wait a minute. Mine isn't loaded.
You're telling me. Now stand back to back. Pistols in right hand. March 10 paces. Turn and fire. Understand?
Yes.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Mr. Schnorrer.
Yes?
A cablegram for you, sir.
A cablegram. Let's have it. Hold everything. Hey, fellas, listen to this. It's from Frank Carson.
What does it say?
It says, Dear Buck, have just located Cactus Face Elmer. Return at once. I'm holding the posse till you get here. Well, what do you know about that? Come on, boys, let's go. We ain't got a minute to lose. Buck Benny rides again. Watch out, man. Don't get the horses wet.
This will continue next Sunday night. Will Buck get Cactus Face? Will the horses get wet? Will Phil Harris get here on time?
These and many more questions will be answered next Sunday night.
Jack, are you screwy?
Tune in next Sunday night and find out. Play, Phil.
For years, chocolate pudding has been one of the most popular desserts, but now it's more popular than ever, and all because of Jell-O chocolate pudding, the new way to make that grand old-fashioned favorite. Jell-O chocolate pudding is smoother, creamier, more chocolatey. It's amazingly easy to make, too, and it brings you delicious, real homemade flavor. Just follow these simple directions. Mix the contents of a package of Jell-O chocolate pudding with some milk in the top of your double boiler and let it cook for about 10 minutes when the mixture will be thick and luscious. Wait for it to cool and then serve your prize pudding in sherbet glasses. It's no trouble to make, and once you've tasted Jell-O chocolate pudding, I know you'll agree that it's one of the swellest desserts you ever served. Your family and friends will tell you so, too. Get some Jell-O chocolate pudding in the morning. It sells for the same low price as Jell-O, and one package makes enough for 6 happy servings. If your grocer hasn't put Jell-O chocolate pudding in stock yet, be sure he orders it for you.
This is the last number of the 10th program in the new Jell-O series, and we'll be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. And I'll be glad to see, that is, Mary and I will be glad to see all of our Phoenix, Arizona friends Tuesday night. Say, Mary, I'm giving a little party tonight at the Trocadero. You want to join me?
Oh, sure, Jack.
How about you, Don?
Thanks, Jack. I'll be glad to.
You too, Kenny?
Okay.
Well, I guess that's about all.
Didn't you forget someone, Jack?
Oh, I don't think so, no. Good night, folks.
The tune, Just One of Those Things, is from the production Jubilee. The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny, has come to you from the NBC studios in Hollywood. This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. More classic old-time radio coming your way next.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra. The orchestra opens the program with All's Fair in Love and War from the Gold Diggers of 1937. Most dinners can be divided into 3 courses. An appetizer to begin with, the main course to follow, and finally, the dessert. A perfect dinner is perfect all the way through, but there should always be an extra touch of perfection at the end. So never risk serving a dessert that has a chance to be disappointing. Serve Jell-O. Jell-O never fails to make friends with everybody at the table. It looks good, and it tastes even better with its wonderful true fruit flavor. Jell-O flavors, each and every one of them, come from fresh, ripe fruit. That's why Jell-O is so rich and delicious. But remember that Jell-O is the only gelatin dessert that brings you that grand, extra-rich fruit flavor. So when you want Jell-O, be sure you get the real thing. Look for the big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the man who every week spreads a little joy, a little cheer, a little sunshine, Jack Pollyanna Benny. Hey, Jack. Mary, where's Jack?
Hasn't he shown up yet?
No.
Gee, he got more applause than if he were here. He ought to stay away every week.
I can't understand it. It isn't like him to be late for a broadcast.
Well, I'm not surprised. You know, Jack feels pretty bad about the way Phil Harris and the rest of us have been treating him. I'll bet he won't show up at all tonight.
But we were only kidding.
Well, you know how sensitive Jack is. See, all you have to do is slap him in the face and he gets all upset.
Well, I'm sorry about the whole thing. Phil, Jack's late tonight.
Who cares? We can get along without him.
Well, I don't know. I think...
Hello, fellers. Hiya, Mary.
Hello. Say, Kenny, we're in a fine fix. Jack isn't here tonight.
Jack who?
Jack Benny, remember him?
Oh, you mean that cowboy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call up Jack's house and see if he's there. This foolishness has gone too far.
Number, please.
Operator, get me Granite 3414, please.
Oh, him. Just a moment, please.
Hello? On the Mr. Blenny residence?
I'd like to speak to Jack Benny, please.
On the Mr. Blenny, he don't like it with his club.
Well, I've got to talk to him. It's important.
Oh, no, all right. I talk to him, all right. On the Mr. Blenny.
Yes, Hung.
On the Samoyli, Hongli, Gauli Sing, the Casino Pao. Toyang, Hakwi Toyla, Samoyli. On the Samoko, the Casino Pao, Toli, Samamoyli, Sangmoyla, Floy Masong Kuilo.
Okay, I'll take it.
Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Don. The program started. Aren't you coming over?
No, Don, I'm fed up with the whole thing. You don't need me. You fellas made that pretty clear last week.
Oh, stop acting like a prima donna.
Well, at least I'm acting. That's more than any of you fellas can say. How was that, Hong? You said it. Now, listen, Don. You guys were so smart and thought you can get along without me. Let's see what you can do.
But we need a master of ceremonies.
Well, what's the matter with that Prince Charming that leads the orchestra? You know, that sun-kicked swing man? How was that, Hong? Ripping. What?
Don, let me talk to Jack.
All right.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Miss Livingston. So nice of you to call.
Yes, ain't it?
Well, what do you want?
Stop acting like a fool and get over here.
No, you're all so good. What do you want with me?
Well, we need somebody to be the head of the program, and you're a swell head.
No, I am, eh? See how comical you are? You don't need me there.
Oh, Mary, let me talk to him, will you?
Why?
I can handle him better than anybody.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Kenny.
Who is this?
Who is this? It's Mussolini.
Well, put Jack on. I want to talk to him.
Listen, Kenny, this is Jack. This is Jack Benny.
Oh, let me talk to him, Kenny.
Hey, Jack, you want to talk to Phil?
No, you talk to him, Hung.
Hello, Jack.
On a Jack of Lenny, he know what to talk.
Oh, yeah? Put him on the phone.
Oh, tamo, Pull on you. Goodbye.
What are you laughing at?
Hung up.
Well, it looks like there'll be no Jack Benny tonight. What are we going to do?
Well, I can take charge. I've been a master of ceremonies before.
You have?
What do you think about it, Mary?
Well, you know the old saying, when the cat's away, the rat will take his place.
Say, that's good. Don, introduce my next number, and right after that, I'll go to town.
All right. The next number will be played by Phil Harris and his orchestra and comes to you through the courtesy of Jell-O, the fastest-selling gelatin dessert in the world, with its extra-rich fresh fruit flavor. And furthermore, it's going to look to the big man in the box is not as genuine without it. That was Frost on the Moon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you our new master of ceremonies, everybody's favorite, Phil Harris.
Thank you. Hello again. This is smiling Phil Harris talking, full of pep, happy as a lark, and raring to go. Yes, sir.
Well, Phil, you look pretty snappy today. Is that a new tie you're wearing?
It sure is. Not yet, fellas.
Gee, what a versatile orchestra. They laugh and play.
Quiet, Mary. You know where I got this tie, Don?
No, where, Phil?
Around my neck.
What happened?
Nothing, but it was loud. Say, Phil,
What?
why don't you pick on jokes your own age?
Well, you heard him scream, didn't you? At least I don't have to fight for my laughs like Jack does.
That joke's old enough to fight for itself.
Mary, please. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our feature attraction this evening, we're going to... Come in?
Why,
Hello.
Oh, so you've decided to come back, what?
No, I'm just looking for my hat. I left it here last Sunday.
What kind of a hat was it?
It was a gray fedora with a black band. You see it?
You got it on your head.
Oh. I knew it was here someplace. Well, so long.
So long.
Is there any mail for me, Mary?
No.
Well, I got my hat, didn't I?
Yes.
Any mail come in since I asked for my hat?
No, and no hats came in since you asked for your mail.
Well, Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, I'll stay on one condition. And that is that you all behave yourself and realize that I'm the head of this program. And you'll do as I say. Now, is that agreeable?
Yes.
Traitor.
Well, do you want me here or not?
Sure, Jack. Hang up your mail and stay a while.
Don't be funny. Well, I might as well get started. Hello again. This is Smiling Jack Benny taking over the reins. With the following understanding. A, no tardiness. B, no wisecrack. C, no phone calls for anybody on this program. including that certain party whose first initial of his last name is Phil Harris. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our tenor, Kenny Baker, will inaugurate the new regime by singing... it's starting already. Answer that phone, Mary, and it better be business.
Hello? Yes? Oh, hello. It's Carol Lombard, Jack.
Well, tell her to call Phil at home, not here.
He wants to talk to you, Jack.
Oh. Well, he probably put the call in before I made the rules. I'll take it, Mary. Hello? Oh, hello, Miss Lombard. Yes. Yes, Carol. Oh, I'm good, thanks. And you? That's fine. Mary said you wanted to talk to me. No, I wasn't busy. I wasn't doing a thing, really. What is it you want, Carol? What? Can Phil get off early tonight? No, goodbye.
Gee, you must have hung up every phone in town.
Well, of all the...
You better sing now, Kitty.
It's the last time I'll break my own rules.
Like the beat, beat, beat of the tom-tom when the jungle shadows fall. Like it be through till you let me spend my life making love to you day and night, night and day.
That was Kenny Baker singing Night and Day from The Gay Divorce, assisted by the orchestra. And a very good orchestra, too. In fact, they can play anything by request. Last week, they were requested to play hockey.
What's the matter with my orchestra?
Oh, nothing, Phil, nothing. I heard they're very conscientious. I understand they go to the pawn shop every day and practice for hours.
Is that so? What about that violin of yours?
Well, my violin was never in pawn.
It was never in tune either.
Now, listen, Mary, who are you with, Phil or me?
Me.
Well, I'm glad that's settled. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Baker will sing...
I sang already.
Oh, see, I'm all mixed up tonight. Huh? Well, then, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as our feature attraction, we will continue with our Western drama, Buck Benny Rides Again, or Is His Saddle Red? I will again play the part of Sheriff Buck Benny, as tough an hombre as ever talked back to an orchestra leader. A Rip Snorton, Rorton, Cavorton, Charles Lorton, and Edward Everett Horton. You ain't heard Norton yet. This will go on immediately after the next number, which will be played by a man who doesn't seem to worry much whether he's going to stay with this organization or not, and his orchestra. D. Lovely from the Broadway production Red, Hot, and Blue. And now for the next installment of our serial, Buck Benny Rides Again. The opening scene is the office of the sheriff of Cactus County, where we find the sheriff and his deputies waiting for news as to the whereabouts of Cactus Face Elmer, the outlaw. Curtain. Music. I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, but my legs ain't bowed and my cheeks ain't tan. I'm a guy who never saw a cow.
Never ought to see her coming up, still, Hal.
And sure ain't fixing to start it now. Hold it a second, boys. There's the phone. Hello? Yes, this is the sheriff's office. What's that, madam? You say there's a gang of rowdies disturbing the peace. We'll be over and put a stop to that immediately. Where do you live? Oh, right upstairs. Boys, we got to stop singing. Shucks. I feel like swearing myself. We never have any fun. Come in.
Oh, Sheriff.
Hello, Deadeye. Really my secretary. What's up?
Somebody stole my Sunday pants.
Well, you got another pair. What are you worrying about?
My father was in them.
Doggone it, he got away before I could think of an answer. Boys, there's been too much shooting and thieving going around these here parts. Getting so those outlaws are taking everything that ain't nailed down.
That's right, Sheriff.
Well, what are we going to do?
Nail everything down.
You got something there, deputy. This sure is a tough town. Well, we ought to be getting some news about Cactus Face pretty soon. I wonder what time it is. Didn't know it was that late. Someone at the door must be Daisy, my fiancée. That's Western for sweetheart, folks. Come in. Hello, Daisy.
Hello, Horseface.
Well, gal, a feed bag hanging from your ears wouldn't look exactly out of place.
Shut your trap, Buck. Every time you open it, you're winning.
Winnie Pearl, what you doing in town, gal? Christmas shopping?
Yeah, I just bought a case of brandy and some peanuts. The brandy's for Pappy,
What's the peanuts for?
to make him thirsty.
He keeps it up and be able to rent his nose for a stoplight.
Say, Buck, have you got any news about our stolen cows?
Nope, no clues as to the whereabouts of Cactus Face Elmer. Got to speak to your pappy about that. Where is he now?
He's gone down to Ike Muller's saloon for the weekend.
Well, it's nice there. There's the phone. It's either your pappy or Carol Lombard.
Well, why don't you answer it?
Don't have to. We got a snicker on that.
Oh, well, here comes Pappy now.
He sure walks heavy, don't he?
That's the fellow that's carrying him.
Oh.
Hello, Buck. Hello, Buck.
Seeing double again, eh? What are you so happy about, Frank?
Well, Buck, I'm celebrating because you got my cows back.
Hold everything. I didn't get your cows back yet.
Too late now. The celebration's underway.
I don't even know where Cactus Face Elmer is.
You don't? Why, Ike Muller tells me that Cactus Face just walked into the Gem Theater to see a moving picture.
He did?
Yeah, and the sheriff of the next county's waiting outside the theater till you get there.
The sheriff of the next county, eh? What's his name?
Puddin' Tame. Ask me again and I'll tell you the same.
One more crack like that and I'll play Ring Around Your Eyesy. Well, now that we got Cactus Face cornered, I better rush right over there.
Can we go with you, Buck?
Nope, it might be dangerous. I'm a-going alone. Where's my horse?
You're sitting on him.
Oh. Well, I better get going. I'm going to get Cactus Face this time, dead or alive. Goodbye, folks, and Merry Christmas. Buck Benny rides again. Open the door, Frank.
Scene 2. We now take you to the front of the Gem Theater, where we find Buck Benny just arriving.
Whoa! Them four-wheel brakes sure are something. Hey, Buck. Hello, Ike. I hear the Cactus Face just walked into this theater.
Yes, sir, not more than 2 minutes ago. Hey, Buck, I want you to meet the representative of the law from the next county. This is Sheriff Andy Devine.
Andy Devine. Main Street sure is crowded tonight. Sheriff, I'm sure glad to know you.
Glad to know you, too, Buck.
It was darn nice of Universal Studios to let you come over here and help me out on this case.
Well, I can't stay with you long. I'm starting on a new picture tomorrow.
That's so? What's the name of it?
Well, it's called The Road Back.
What you crying about?
I ain't crying. That's the way I talk.
Well, by the way, Gravel Throat. Did you see me in my latest picture, the big broadcast?
Yep.
How'd you like me in it? Well, reckon we done enough advertising about our picture.
Hold on. Ain't nobody going to say that Jell-O was the most tempting dessert in these here parts, and every day millions of cowboys keep eating it.
Thanks, Andy. That was divine. Now, listen, Sheriff. I heard the Cactus Face Elmer's inside the theater.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm hot on his trail.
Now, what are you doing outside?
Well, I saw the picture.
Now, we got to get Cactus Face dead or alive. What's playing here, anyway?
William S. Hart?
Oh, Bill Hart, eh? Well, come along. I'll buy the tickets. We'll kill two birds with one stone. Stoop down, Andy. I'll get you in for half price.
All right, but I feel kind of silly.
2 tickets, miss. 1 adult and 1 child.
Here you are, Sonny.
He's the child.
Oh, well, tell him to trade that pipe in for a lollipop.
Come on, Andy.
Say, ain't she pretty?
Come on, business before pretty.
Tickets, please. Keep your stuff for bank night.
Here you are. It's awfully dark in here. I wonder where the usher is.
There he is up in front with a gun.
That's William S. Hart.
Well, he can't find a seat either.
Sure is dark. Oh, here's a couple of empty seats. Let's sit down.
Sir?
Oh, pardon me, lady. Move over 1 seat, Andy. Why, lady, are you hissing the picture?
No, I'm frying an egg. I've been in here for a month.
Watch for him. Hey, Andy. Andy, my seat's moving.
Well, that's funny. Mine's a moving, too.
It is? Doggone it, we're sitting on a couple of cows. Wait a minute. Are you Frank Carson's cows? No. That's a lie. Come on, Sheriff. Cactus Face must be right close by.
Look, there he goes now, out the side door.
I'll get him!
Look out, Buck. He's a shooting back.
Oh, he got me.
He did? Oh, you hurt bad?
Oh, Andy. Reckon I'm done.
No, don't give up, Buck. You'll be all right. Oh, come on, Buck. Buck, say something. Oh, come on, Buck. Say something.
Oh, this will be continued next Sunday night. Was I killed? Will we get Cactus Face? Will Buck Benny ride again? Tune in next Sunday and find out. Oh, Playboy.
Your mother made it, your grandmother made it, and today everybody still makes chocolate pudding. But there's a new way nowadays, an easier way to get those same delicious results. Use Jell-O chocolate pudding. For Jell-O chocolate pudding is smoother, creamier, more chocolatey. And it brings you that fine, rich, homemade flavor that makes all the difference in a chocolate pudding. Here's how easily it's made. Simply mix the contents of 1 package of Jell-O chocolate pudding with some milk in the top of your double boiler. In just about 10 minutes, the mixture will become thick and satin smooth. Take it off the fire then, and after it's cooled, serve in sherbet glasses. That's all you have to do to turn out a perfect chocolate pudding. The luscious, extra good kind that makes everybody hope it will be served again and again. 1 package of Jell-O chocolate pudding makes enough for 6 grand servings, and it sells for the same low price as Jell-O. Ask your grocer for Jell-O chocolate pudding.
This is the last number of the 11th program in the new Jelly series, And on behalf of Jack Benny, who was shot, I want to thank me for being here tonight.
The selection I get a kick out of you is from the production Anything Goes. The Jell-O program originated in the NBC studios in Hollywood over the Red Network. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
KFI, Los Angeles. 5 seconds past 9 o'clock.
Our next popular broadcast began in August of 1949 on NBC Radio and ran until November of 1953. Set in the Midwest, it starred Robert Young as General Insurance Agent Jim Anderson and portrayed an idealized vision of middle-class American life of the era. It was created by writer Ed James. While the show is often regarded as an example of conservative nature of the American family life in the 1950s, it's also cited as to be slightly rosy portrayal as well. We proudly present to you Father Knows Best on HOJO Radio.
Mother, is Maxwell House really the only coffee in the world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your new neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Maxwell House, the coffee that's bought and enjoyed by more people than any other brand of coffee at any price. Maxwell House, always good to the last drop. In every family, there are special days. Days which, though simple, will live forever in our memories. There's the day Junior had his first haircut. The day Dad backed into the garage door. Or the day Mother didn't back into the garage door. In Springfield, in the white frame house on Maple Street, it's dinner time. And one of those days is in the making. It will be known, as long as an Anderson remains, as the day Father received the Christmas bills. Like this.
It's outrageous, that's what it is. The most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Pass the potatoes to your father, Betty.
Yes, Mother. Potatoes, Father.
Thank you. It's gotten so that Christmas isn't a period of joy and celebration. It's a plot to collect all the money overlooked by the government. I've never seen such an assortment of bills.
Kathy, won't you please eat your dinner?
But I have to watch Daddy.
I'm sure he'd much rather you ate your dinner.
But I want to see the steam come out of his ears.
The what?
Well, Bud said when you saw all those bills.
Holy cow, Kathy. I didn't mean it really would. I was just, you know. It sure was cold out today, wasn't it?
Well, for certain people, it's going to get warmer. Much warmer. Have the bread, please.
Here you are, Dan.
Thank you.
Say, Dad.
Look at this. $17.70 for mucklucks. Now, what the devil are mucklucks?
The knitted slippers, dear.
For $17.70?
That's for 6 pair, Jim. I sent them to my sister Kathleen and her family.
Oh, fine. And what did she send us? 5 napkin rings painted by hand in the kindergarten of a school for backward children.
Jim, that's not the proper attitude to take.
Oh, it isn't it? You don't see that brother-in-law of yours shelling out any $17.70 for mucklucks, do you? I tell you, Margaret, we've got to realize that we aren't the Morgans or the Rockefellers. We're just plain, simple people, and we've got to act that way.
Yes, dear.
Say, Dad.
When I was a boy, thrift was an important part of the daily life. The family worked together to see how little it could spend, not how much. They tried to help put something away for a rainy day. Not us. This family lives in a continual cloudburst.
Dad.
What is it, Bud?
As long as we're talking about money, I need $5.
Bud.
Oh, that's fine. That's just great. I give out with a long lecture on thrift and economy, and all it does is remind my son that he needs $5. Now, why do you need $5?
To be a bird watcher. A bird watcher. You watch birds.
I wouldn't care if you watched elephants. Why does it have to cost $5?
Well, you have to buy a manual. It tells you how to watch. And you get a button. And they have meetings every Tuesday and Thursday night.
No.
But, Dad, watching birds makes you alert.
No.
It gives you a better understanding of your feathered friends.
No.
And it's educational.
No.
Oh, gosh. You certainly want me to be educated, don't you?
Yes?
Then I can go?
No.
Oh, would you care for some more coffee, dear?
I certainly would. Thank you.
I'll bet Evelyn Finney's a bird watcher.
You keep out of this, Kathy.
Bud's got a girl.
I have not. You just wait, Kathy. That's all. Just wait.
Bud's got a girl.
Dad.
All right, Kathy. Stop that and drink your milk.
But I did. It's all gone.
Well, get some more milk and drink it.
Gee whiz.
And behave yourself. Now, where was I?
The part about putting something away for a rainy day.
Thank you. Rainy day. Oh, look, I don't want you to think I'm being stingy or that I don't want you to enjoy a healthy, normal life, but what's that?
What's what, dear?
On the buffet, is that another album of records?
Oh, you ought to hear them, Father. They're simply dreamy.
You see, that's what I mean. A new album, and we've got so many records now we can join the Disc Jockeys Union.
Do disc jockeys have a union, Daddy?
How do I know?
Well, you just said
I
that.
said if they had a union, we could join it.
Why?
Because we have so many records.
Are you going to be a disc jockey, Daddy?
No, I'm not going to be a disc jockey.
Why not?
Because I'm an insurance jockey. Oh, Kathy, drink your milk.
I did. Twice.
Well, eat your cake.
I don't have any cake.
What have you got?
Jell-O.
Well, eat it and be quiet.
Gee whiz.
Father, there's no need to get excited about the record.
Now, don't tell me what to get excited about and what not to get excited about. You have no right to waste money on more records.
But, Father...
$5 for bird watchers and $5 for records.
They cost $7.50.
$7.50? Betty Anderson, you mean those records cost $7.50?
Yes, Father.
Oh, that's fine. Just fine. We've got records you haven't touched in 5 years, but they're no good. You've got to buy new ones for $7.50.
But, Father...
When I was a boy, I couldn't buy a new record till the old one wore out.
But, Father...
I played Dardanella so long the fuzz on the turntable came through.
But, Father...
And stop but-fathering me. You have no right to waste $7.50 on records.
But, Father, I didn't. I borrowed them from Janie Liggett.
I don't care where you got them. You have no right to... Oh. Well, where was I?
A rainy day, dear.
Page 2.
All right, laugh. Go ahead. The whole thing is a big joke. It's very funny. But I'm telling you right now, we're spending too much money. And we're going to cut down.
Oh, Jim, I don't think we're extravagant, any of us.
Okay, you're not extravagant. You just spend too much money.
But we don't waste anything, dear. And we don't spend money unnecessarily.
Oh, we don't we? I suppose $5 to watch birds isn't unnecessary. If Bud has to watch birds, he can sit on the front porch and watch them for 10 years. It won't cost him a dime.
Holy cow.
This family has to learn to conserve. We've got to make things do. Now, here, look at this. Another pair of shoes for Kathy. That's the third pair in 6 months.
But, Daddy, I'm growing.
Will you have to grow so fast?
Father!
Oh, it's all right, dear. Your father's only joking.
Sure, I'm only joking, Kathy. But there's one thing I'm not joking about. This family has to stop spending so much money. And we've got to stop running around. We're going to stay home and enjoy the simple things of life. We've got magazines to read, books to read. I spent $190 for the encyclopedia, and nobody's ever gotten past Marib to Mushy.
Jim, the There's one thing you don't seem to understand.
Just a moment, dear. Bud, the phone.
Kathy's turn.
It is not. But I'll answer it anyway. See if I care.
What is it you were saying, Margaret?
Well, I was saying that there's one thing you don't seem to understand, that no one has even mentioned going out tonight. Everyone was quite satisfied and quite happy, and this entire discussion seems to be absolutely pointless.
Is that so? If I didn't put my foot down every once in a while, this whole family would go to pot. Nobody would ever stay home.
Daddy, it's for you.
Thank you, Kathy.
It's Mr. Smith, Daddy.
Thank you, dear. Hello, Heck. No, we were just finishing our dinner. The drugstore? Well, I hadn't thought about going down there, but... Pick up cards for what? You mean the game is tonight? Oh. Well, look, Heck, maybe you'd better not figure on me for tonight. Well, frankly, I forgot all about it, and I got myself into a situation here. Yes, I know, Heck, but couldn't you get George Phillips? Out of town, huh? Just a minute, Heck. Kathy, there's somebody at the door.
Okay.
Sorry, Heck. Well, look, there must be somebody else you can get for the game. There isn't, huh? Well, I'll do whatever I can, Heck, but it's going to be tough. Okay. But if I'm not there by 8, well, you'd better call me. Okay, Heck, I'll see you. Ye gods, the things I get myself into.
Is there anything wrong, dear?
No, nothing wrong. Let's see. What were we talking about?
Nobody goes out tonight.
Well, of course, I don't mean that we have to live like hermits.
Of course not, dear.
There are circumstances when it will be necessary and proper for us to spend an evening away from home. A special picture that we won't want to miss, or a meeting, or something.
You're so right, dear, but after that long lecture you just finished, naturally you don't mean tonight. Do you, dear?
Oh, no, naturally not tonight. We'll all spend a quiet evening at home. Tonight.
Daddy.
Yes, Kathy?
Daddy, may I please have $1.25?
You certainly may not.
But, Daddy...
You see, Margaret, that's just what I meant about discipline. This entire discussion about thrift and economy was absolutely wasted. Everything I said went in one ear and out the other. I spent 15 minutes explaining that we had to take it easy, that we had to cut down on our spending, and what happens? As soon as I stop to take a deep breath, Bud needs $5 to watch birds, and Kathy needs $1.25. Now, why on earth do you suddenly need $1.25?
To pay the paper boy.
Oh.
You know, for all his talking, Father wouldn't think of doing without that paper. It's one of those things that means so much to every day that comes along. And something else we count on, you and I, day in and day out, is coffee. I mean really good coffee, like our Maxwell House. Coffee you sit down to and enjoy, cup after cup. That good to the last drop flavor. You won't find it in any other coffee. No coffee but Maxwell House. And as you'd expect, there's a very real reason why. It's a recipe, the only recipe there is for that good to the last drop flavor. It's mighty important, that recipe of ours, because the flavor of the coffee you enjoy depends on the blend, the kind of coffees in it, and how they're put together. Now, coffee grows in many different varieties, and you can blend them in all sorts of ways. But there's only one way, one recipe for our famous Maxwell House flavor. And when all's said and done, it's this recipe of ours that makes the difference. The big difference between just another coffee and the wonderfully good flavor of America's favorite brand. It's a difference you'll taste for yourself the very first time you pour a cup of our Maxwell House coffee. And I hope you will, tomorrow. Hope you'll start enjoying the coffee that's always good to the last drop.
In the white frame house on Maple Street, an hour has passed, and a long, long hour it's been. For Jim Anderson, the minutes have dragged by in endless procession. His active mind is buzzing with a weird assortment of masculine schemes, every one of them taken from the file headed How to Get Out of the House. A dozen fantastic plans have already been tried, and none of them has worked. But you've got to give Jim credit. The kid's still in there pitching like this.
Margaret,
Yes, dear?
do you have the correct time?
Oh, I think so. It's 5 minutes of 8.
Uh-huh. Just what I thought. This doggone watch is on the blink again. Just won't keep time.
Well, what time do you have, dear?
7 of.
Well, Jim, that's a difference of only 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes? Margaret, do you realize the things that have happened in 2 minutes? Wars have been won and lost. The entire course of civilization has been changed. I better have it fixed.
All right, dear.
As a matter of fact, as long as I'm not doing anything right now, I might as well run down to the jeweler's. And it might take some time. You know how fussy jewelers can be about a watch. So maybe you'd better not wait up for me.
Jim,
Yes, dear?
Christmas is over. The jewelers all close at 5:30.
They do. You mean all of them?
Yes, dear.
Oh.
You ought to see the watch Joe Phillips got for Christmas, Dad. Boy, is that a watch. Shatterproof, sharkproof, waterproof, heatproof, and it's guaranteed to last him a lifetime. But it won't.
Why not?
He lost it.
But instead of making bad jokes, why don't you go upstairs and do your homework?
That wasn't a joke, Dad.
You can say that again.
You mean the whole thing?
Bud. Go upstairs and do your homework.
Okay. You wouldn't want to help me, would you?
That's right.
Yeah, I sort of figured you wouldn't. Well, I'll see you later.
Margaret, I think I'll go out for a little walk.
Why, Jim, it's snowing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little snow. Does a man good to get out in the snow once in a while. The air crisp and clear, the ground all white and peaceful.
Jim Anderson, you're not going to tramp around in the snow at your age. I have enough to do without taking care of a sick husband. And stop pacing up and down the room like a caged lion.
Father,
Yes, Betty?
I'll play checkers with you if you like.
Thank you. But I'd rather see you doing your homework.
Oh, I don't have any homework. I finished it this afternoon.
Well, go sew something. Or read a book. And don't tell me you read a book.
I'll spot you 2 kings.
I don't need to be spotted 2 kings, and I don't want to play checkers. Margaret,
Yes, dear.
do you need anything at the drugstore?
No, dear, not a thing.
We're kind of low on toothpaste this morning.
I got some this afternoon.
Oh, you did. Soap holding up all right?
Just fine.
Uh-huh. Say, I think I'll run out and get something to smoke. Yes, sir, that's just what I'll do.
Jim,
Yes, Margaret?
I bought you a carton of cigarettes this afternoon, and there's a whole humidor full of pipe tobacco.
You know, it's a funny thing, but I just feel like smoking a cigar.
Jim, I didn't know you smoked cigars.
Well, of course. After all, there's nothing like a good cigar. You know what Rudyard Kipling said, a woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke. Yeah, I'll get it.
Jim, be careful.
Who the dickens moved the lamp over to this side?
Oh, Jim, how could you?
Well, how do you expect me to keep track of where the lamps are if you keep moving them around all the time? Anyway, well, I'm sorry, Margaret. I was just...
The phone's ringing.
Betty, be a good girl and clean up this mess, will you?
All right, Father.
And don't worry about the lamp, Margaret. We'll get it fixed or something.
A good lamp. And just look at it.
6 lamps right in your way when you're in a hurry. Naturally, they get knocked down. Hello? Hello, Heck. What do you mean, am I still here? course not. I left for your house 20 minutes ago. Heck, I'm doing everything I can. I can't do it, Heck. I can't just walk out. Because I can't, that's why. I am trying. Well, stop worrying about it. I'll figure something out. Okay. Yeah, call me later. So long.
Who was that, dear?
It was Hector, honey. He just wanted to talk to me.
About what, dear? Is anything wrong?
Oh, no. He wanted me to come over there. He probably wants to talk to me about something.
Like what, dear?
Well, it's probably very complicated. You'd be surprised.
I'll bet I would.
Yeah. Are you through with the newspaper, dear?
I think so.
Well, I guess I'll sit down and read the paper.
That's a very good idea.
Daddy.
We're in the den, Kathy.
Daddy, I just thought of something wonderful to save money. How much does water cost?
Not very much, dear. Why?
Well, it costs something to get it hot, doesn't it? So I thought if I only took one bath a week...
Are you supposed to be taking a bath now?
Uh-huh.
Well, take it.
But you said we had to save money, and I thought if I only took...
Kathy, go upstairs and take your bath.
Gee whiz.
You heard your father, Kathy. Now go ahead.
First they want to save money, then they don't want to save money. Why don't they make up their minds?
Say, did you see this in the paper? They're having a big meeting in the school auditorium.
Tomorrow night.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. It's tomorrow.
Jim.
Father, I put all the broken pieces on the service porch, but I don't think they can fix the lamp. It's a mess.
Thank you, Benny.
You're welcome.
Were you going to say something, dear?
Oh, no, it's all right.
Mother.
Yes, Betty.
Have you seen the records I borrowed from Janie?
Well, no, dear, I haven't. Where did you leave them?
Well, I put them over there on Father's chair. Father, you're sitting on them.
I am? Oh, I thought it felt kind of funny.
Oh, Father, how could you? $7.50 worth of South Pacific, and look at it.
Well, they're only cracked a little, Betty. Now, look at this one. Only the front part of it's broken off. You can still play the whole chorus, and that's all anybody listens to anyway.
She'll never talk to me again, and I don't blame her.
Oh, Betty, will you please stop that moaning and groaning? I'll buy Janie another album. And stop looking at me as though I went around beating little children.
Yes, Father.
Man tries to spend a quiet evening at home, and what happens? Lamps fall down, people stuff records under his cushion. I'll get it.
Jim, please be careful.
Margaret, I make a practice of knocking lamps down. Anybody listening to you would think I broke a lamp every day.
Yes, dear, but be careful just the same.
Never liked the darn lamp anyway. Silliest looking lamp I ever saw in my life. Hello? Yes, I'm still here. Look, Heck, I told you in the very beginning I didn't think I could make it. Well, I did try. I tried everything but chloroform. It won't do any good to call me back later. Why don't you just forget the whole thing?
Jim?
Just a minute, Heck. What is it, Margaret?
Is that Hector again?
Yes, dear, it's Hector.
Well, Jim, if it's really that urgent, why don't you run over there?
You wouldn't mind?
No, but if they can't get anyone else, why don't you have them come over here for the game?
The game. Over here?
Well, there's no reason why they can't play poker here.
There isn't?
Of course not.
Oh. Well, say, Heck, how about playing over here? It would, huh? Well, fine. Oh, of course not. Margaret won't mind at all. Okay, see you in a little while. Goodbye. Margaret.
Yes, Jim?
Well, you see, I'd forgotten all about this date I had with the boys, and, well, I told them to get somebody else.
Just a moment,
but,
dear. Bud!
You want me, Mom?
Yes, dear. I want you to go to the delicatessen.
Okay, I'll be down in a minute.
Why does he have to go to the delicatessen?
Well, you'll be busy getting the card things ready, dear, and there isn't a thing in the house. We'll have to serve something.
Well, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate.
Oh, no, but we'll need a few slices of ham and some liverwurst and bologna and cheese, a few loaves of bread, potato chips, pickles.
Why do we need pickles? There's no sense in running hog wild just because a couple of men are coming over to play poker. I told you at dinner, Margaret, we've got to cut down on our expenses.
All right, dear, no pickles. After all, Father knows best.
Well, pickles or no pickles, I'm inclined to think it's Mother knows best when it comes to shopping for the family groceries. Take coffee, for instance. Mother knows that when she buys coffee, there's just one thing that means real value. It's the flavor you get for your money that really counts. And these days, she understands it's more important than ever to get the most flavor for every penny you spend. And that's just what you do get in our Maxwell House coffee. You get a full measure of that wonderful Maxwell House flavor. Good to the last drop flavor no other coffee gives you. And that's why more people buy our Maxwell House than any other brand of coffee. So when you put out good money for coffee, be sure you get the most in value, in flavor and freshness. You always will when you open up a pound of Maxwell House, the coffee that's always good to the last drop.
The lights are out in the white frame house on Maple Street. The children are asleep, the guests are gone. The last chip has been put away, and the poker game is a thing of the past.
Jim?
Oh, you're still awake, dear?
Yes, I've just been lying here thinking. How did the game go?
Fine, just fine. I guess I showed that Hector Smith how poker should be played. Bluffed him right out of two of the biggest pots you ever saw.
Jim.
Yes, dear?
You know, I've been wondering about this sudden wave of economy. There isn't anything wrong, is there?
Oh, no. Well, it was those darn Christmas bills. They really got me down.
Tonight didn't help much, did it? I mean, we'll have to buy a new lamp and records for Janie.
Well, it won't amount to much.
No, I suppose not. Including the food and drinks, I figure that the quiet evening at home came to just $32.50.
$36.50.
No, dear. $32.50. I can get a new lamp for... Oh. You mean you...
I certainly did.
$4.22.
Good night, Mark.
Good night, dear.
If you like good things the easy way, good things the easy way, Instant Maxwell House, that's for you. Good coffee that's easy too. No time, no trouble, no grounds, no pot, and it's good to the very last you know what.
Yes, Instant Maxwell House means great coffee instantly in your cup. Here's real instant coffee. All pure Maxwell House coffee in instant form. Enjoy instant Maxwell House. Instantly.
Good to the very last you know what.
Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. Don't forget, membership cards for the Robert Young Good Drivers Club are waiting for you at your local NBC station. Get a man-to-man or dad-to-daughter pledge and sign up today. Be a good driver. Get your membership card in the Robert Young Good Drivers Club today. Now, until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Screen Guild Theater, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. Stay tuned.
Mother, is Maxwell House really the only coffee in the world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons, brought to you by America's favorite coffee, Maxwell House. The coffee that's always good to the last drop. A decade or so before the turn of the 20th century, the city editor of the New York Sun came up with a remarkably simple definition of news. When a dog bites a man, he said, that is not news because it happens so often. But if a man bites a dog, that is news. Well, in Springfield, in the white frame house on Maple Street, news may very well be in the making. Nothing unusual has happened thus far, but it's quite possible that before the week is out, a man named Anderson will bite a dog like this.
Holy cow, Dad, I couldn't help it.
Bud, when you signed the good driving pledge...
But I wasn't even driving, Dad. The car was just sitting there.
And the fender dropped off all by itself.
Sure.
Bud, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
But it's true, Dad.
I wouldn't be surprised if the whole car fell apart.
Is that so? There's nothing wrong with the car, and you know it.
Daddy,
What is it, Kathy?
did you know that in the polar regions, dogs are the chief means of transportation?
What's that got to do with Bud knocking a fender off the car?
I didn't knock it off, Dad. It fell off.
Bud, unless you're willing to tell me the truth...
Jim, Bud is not in the habit of telling lies, and if he says the fender fell off, then it fell off.
And we put it back on again with wire, Dad. You'd never even know the difference.
Oh, fine. Bud, if I ever find out... Oh, never mind. May I have my coffee, Margaret?
Of course, dear. Here you are.
Thank you.
Nothing.
What?
It doesn't have anything to do with Bud knocking a fender off the car.
I did not.
Wait a minute, Bud. Kathy, what doesn't have anything to do with Bud knocking a fender off the car?
Dogs are the chief means of transportation in the polar regions.
Fine. I'll order a dog sled in the morning. Is that what you want?
Oh, no. I just wanted to tell you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. That car's practically as good as it was the day we bought it. Might need a little paint here and there.
Daddy,
What is it, Kathy?
did you know that the dog has been chosen as the companion of man because of his fidelity and intelligence?
Well, I'd heard rumors, but it's nice to have it on such complete authority.
You're welcome.
Dad,
Yes, Bud.
does that mean that I can't have the car on Thursday anymore?
No, I suppose it'll be all right. But in the future, I wish you'd be a little more careful, that's all.
I wouldn't be surprised if the roof caved in.
Betty, what's gotten into you? Until tonight, the only complaint you ever had about the car was that you didn't get it often enough.
Jim,
Yes, Margaret?
the Liggetts have a new car.
A convertible.
Oh. Well, pardon me.
Dogs are bred for sports, as watchdogs, for guarding and driving sheep, and for plain ordinary dogs.
Kathy, deep in your obscure little mind,
How see you it is?
you stay right where you are. I want to get to the bottom of this dissertation on dogs. Bud,
Yes, Dad?
see who's at the door.
Holy cow. You think nobody else around here knew how to open a door.
All right, Kathy. Will you explain something to me as simply as possible? Why this sudden interest in the history of our canine companions?
Huh?
Dogs.
Oh, Well, dogs are pets, and everybody says they're man's best friend, and they'd probably be girls' best friends, too. And I don't see why...
Kathy, are you going to start that dog business again?
But everybody I know has a dog, and I don't see why...
You know as well as I that Betty's allergic to dogs. They make her sneeze.
Dad, it's Mr. Davis.
Oh, come on in, Ed.
Hello, Jim, Margaret.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, girls.
Hello, Mr. Davis.
We're just finishing our dinner, Ed. How about a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, thanks, Jim. I just want to talk to you about your dog.
Our what?
Well, I wouldn't mind if it were just an ordinary rose bush, Jim, but this was a Bengal. A genuine Hibiscus rosa sinensis.
Ed.
I only had two, and you ought to see the one he dug up. It's a complete wreck.
Ed.
Yes, Jim.
What dog?
Why, your dog.
We don't have a dog. You know that.
Daddy.
Jim, I dislike this whole thing as much as you do, but that bush cost me $13.
Ed, we don't have a dog.
Daddy.
And I wouldn't even know where to get another one. They only had two in town. I bought both of them.
Ed.
Yes, Jim.
We don't have a dog.
Daddy.
Kathy, I'm talking to Mr. Davis.
I know, Daddy, but I want to tell you something.
All right, what is it?
We have a dog.
Fine. Look, Ed, I know how you must feel, but... We what?
Kathy, you're joking.
What do you mean, we have a dog?
Oh, it was such a poor little dog, Daddy. And it kept following me and following me. And...
Kathy, you mean we have a dog here?
Uh-huh.
Betty, stop that.
I can't stop it, Father.
You certainly can. Kathy, you've been told 1,000 times not to bring a dog into the house.
She's just doing that to be mean.
I am done.
She wasn't sneezing before, and the dog was here all the time.
Where?
What?
Where is it?
Where's what?
The dog.
Oh, the dog.
Kathy, where did you put the dog?
In the playroom.
Well, we'll just see about that.
Of course, it isn't the most valuable rose bush in the world, Jim, but if you knew the trouble I'd gone through...
Jim, where are you going?
Down to the playroom.
Oh, Daddy, please don't be mean to the little dog. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Where do you think you're going, Bud?
Well, can I come with you? Gosh, I just want to look at it.
I didn't mean to start all this trouble, Jim, but after all, he did dig up the rose bush.
I know, Ed. I'll be very glad to pay for it as soon as we... Oh... My aching back. Look at the size of that thing.
Holy cow.
I'll just wait for you upstairs, Jim.
Kathy, that isn't a dog. It's a werewolf.
No, it isn't, Daddy. It's a dog, and you're frightening him.
I'm frightening him.
Poor little fella. We're not going to hurt you.
Kathy, get away from him.
But, Daddy...
You heard me, Kathy. You don't get away from that dog. Well, stay over there if that's what he wants. But don't get too close.
Jim, Ed Davis said there was a lion in the basement. Did you? Oh, Kathy.
Isn't he cute, Mommy?
Kathy, come over here.
You better do as your mother says, Kathy.
Maybe she better do what the dog says.
Oh, Jim, what are we going to do?
We're going to find out where he belongs and get rid of him. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, Daddy, you can't. He's such a beautiful dog, and he's so easy to feed. All he eats is cookies.
Bud. See what the tag says on his collar.
On his collar?
Oh, he won't hurt you, Bud. Will you, George?
Well, go ahead, Bud. There's nothing to be afraid of.
That's a nice fella. Nice, George.
His name isn't exactly George, Bud. I just call him that.
Oh, you're a great help. Nice boy. That's a nice boy. Atta boy.
What does it say, Bud?
Gargantua the Third.
Oh, that's how you say it.
Property of Michael Reed, Orchard Avenue.
Orchard Avenue? Well, that's a mile away. How did he get clear over here?
I think he walked.
Well, he can walk right back. Bud, call Mr. Reed and tell him we have his dog.
Oh, Daddy, no.
Oh, Daddy, yes.
Kathleen, it isn't our dog, and we've got to send him back home.
But, Mommy, I love him so.
Oh, don't cry, Kathy. Gosh, you've still got us.
Everybody's got somebody. And all I have is
You want me to answer it, Dad?
No, never mind. I'm right here.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Reed's chauffeur.
Oh, yes. Come on right in.
Oh, thank you. Very nice of you to go to all this trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all.
Mr. Reed was quite concerned about Gargantua, quite concerned.
Well, we weren't too happy about him ourselves. Kathy,
You want me, Daddy?
the man is here for the dog.
Gee whiz.
She'll have it up here in just a minute. Peculiar-looking animal, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's a very valuable dog. Weimaraner.
You don't say.
Yes, it's a German hunting dog. Very intelligent.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. Kathy, will you please hurry?
Daddy, I can't find him.
You what?
Oh, Daddy, the most terrible thing happened. He got away.
Kathy,
But he did, Daddy. I just opened the door, and he was gone.
you didn't happen to give him a push.
Oh, Daddy, how can you say... Well, maybe one little push.
Now, see here, Kathleen.
Oh, you don't have to worry, Daddy. I think I can find him again. Later.
I'm awfully sorry about this.
I understand.
Oh, hello, Ed.
Oh, Jim, I don't like
Ed, please, I told you I'd get you another rose bush, and I will. First thing in the morning.
I know, Jim, but after all now...
George got away.
Yes, I know he got away. Only he didn't get far enough away.
Have you seen him?
Yes, I've seen him. He's in my backyard, and he's having a wonderful time.
All right, Kathy, go get him.
Gee whiz.
And, Jim.
Yes?
When you get that hibiscus sinensis tomorrow, make it 2.
Oh, no.
All across the country, there's good news about coffee these days. Grocers everywhere are featuring Maxwell House at lower prices. That's right. These days, the coffee with that wonderful good to the last drop flavor comes to you at the lowest prices in months. A mighty welcome occasion for everybody. You, your grocer, yes, and for Maxwell House, too. With Maxwell House coffee, we've always aimed at one thing, to bring you the best in coffee at the lowest possible price. And that's meant a lot. Meant you could always count on more flavor for your money in every cup of Maxwell House, more wonderfully good cups of coffee in every pound. It's the reason why, year after year, folks everywhere have found Maxwell House is true economy. And nowadays, Maxwell House is more than ever today's coffee buy. The world's most famous coffee flavor is yours to enjoy every cup you pour. And the price is the lowest in months. So tomorrow, get your money's worth and more. Bring home a familiar blue tin of Maxwell House and start enjoying coffee that's always good to the last drop.
The
A dog is a creature whose principal feature is love, and there's nothing can daunt him. He'll stay by your side as though he were tied, especially if you don't want him. A few days have gone by, and in Springfield we find a most unhappy individual. Between roses which cannot be found and a dog which refuses to get lost, Jim Anderson's lot is a miserable one indeed. Like this.
Go on, get him.
Oh, isn't he cute, Daddy? He wants to play.
Well, tell him to play with something else.
But he likes you, Daddy.
All right, I like him, but you don't see me biting his shoes.
Oh, he just wants to be friendly.
No good fender. Why don't they make the bolts big enough? They don't want you to fix your car, that's what. Expect you to buy a new one every 5 minutes.
Daddy.
What is it, Kathy?
George is hungry.
George is hungry. George is sleepy. George. Kathy.
Yes, Daddy?
How many times have you found that dog?
6.
And how many times have we sent him home?
6.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Any dog that's stupid enough to get trapped in back of a fence 6 times in a row.
Hi, Jim.
Oh, Ed, come on over here. I've got good news for you.
Okay. Hey, see, George is back again.
Yeah, idiotic animal. Comes clear over here from Orchard Avenue and then gets stuck in back of the Willoughby's fence. Smart dog.
He is smart, Daddy. He knows that's where I meet him.
Well, why don't you leave him there? Let somebody else find him for a change.
But, Daddy, the Willoughbys moved away. There wouldn't be anybody to feed him.
He can always eat rose bushes. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you, Ed. There they are.
You mean those?
Yep, 2 Bengals, and I had to go clear to Plainfield to get them.
Jim, I don't like to be difficult, but those aren't Bengals.
They most certainly are. Look at the tags.
Well, marked Bengals, all right, but... Oh, well, you see, Jim, there are 2 kinds of Bengals, Hibiscus rosa sinensis and Rosa japonicus. Now, mine were Hibiscus sinensis, and they're a much hardier variety.
Ed, a rose is a rose. And you said Bengals.
I don't like to argue, Jim, but I said Hibiscus sinensis. You see, the japonicus is very susceptible to mildew and thrips.
That's bad, huh?
Oh, yeah, especially around here. The japonicus doesn't do well in Springfield at all. It needs a much milder climate.
I see. You wouldn't consider moving? Nothing. I'll keep looking, Ed. After all, what's a few more days? I wouldn't be able to do anything but work anyway.
Mr. Anderson?
Oh, hello there. We're back here near the garage.
Mr. Anderson, I don't know what to say. Mr. Reed is most apologetic.
Yes, I'm sure he must be.
Well, I'll be getting back to my gardening. I've got another bed of geraniums to set out.
I'm sorry they weren't the right ones, Ed.
Well, that's all right, Jim. There's no particular hurry, I guess.
Mr. Anderson, I want to assure you that we've done everything in our power to keep Gargantua at home.
I'm sure you have.
I've gone over the fence with a fine-tooth comb. We've fixed everything, and still he gets out.
Maybe the fence isn't high enough.
Well, it's quite high, but we're going to make it higher. And now, if I may have the dog.
Yes, Kathy. Now, where the dickens did she go? Kathy!
You want me, Daddy?
Where's George?
George?
No, we call him George. Kathy!
I'm coming, Daddy.
Maybe if you called him George, he'd stay home.
Well, it might be a little confusing, but we'll try.
Kathy, why is it... What happened to George?
I don't know, Daddy. Isn't he with you?
No, he isn't with me. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Kathy, why is it that every time Mr. Reed's chauffeur...
George.
Thank you. Every time George shows up, George... George?
Yes, sir. George.
Oh. Well, why is it every time George shows up, the dog disappears?
I don't know.
What do you know?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, George, but George, Gargantua. George!
Jim!
Ed, is George over there?
He certainly is, and I'm very slowly reaching a point where I don't think it's at all funny.
Ed, he didn't tear up another rose bush.
No.
Well, thank goodness.
This time he got the geraniums.
George dug up the geraniums?
No, but I made a bed, and he's lying in it.
$5 for 2 miserable little rose bushes. It's criminal, that's what it is.
Jim, let's just be thankful that we were able to find them.
Hibiscus sinensis. Margaret, if I ever see that dog again, so help me...
Jim.
What's the matter?
He's back.
Oh, no, he can't be.
Well, stop the car, Jim. We've got to get him.
Why? Why can't we just pretend that we've never met George? That we've never even heard of him?
Dear, we owe it to Mr. Reed.
Mr. Reed. He's the one who ought to pay for the roses. George is his dog.
Jim, that's not being very charitable.
Well, I don't feel very charitable. Where is he?
Back of the Willoughby's fence.
Again? Margaret, that's the stupidest animal I've ever seen in my life. This is the 8th time he's been stuck in the Willoughby's yard. Any dog with half a brain knows you can jump both ways over a fence. Come here, you silly mongrel.
Oh, Jim, isn't that sweet? He knows us.
Well, why shouldn't he know us? He's been boarding with us for almost a week.
Come on, George. That's a good boy. Take his collar, Jim.
I'd like to wring his neck. Come on, George.
Jim, I don't think you're being very nice to him.
Well, I don't think he's being very nice to us. George, will you please make up your mind? You want to come home with us, or are you going to stay here?
Daddy! Oh, Daddy, you found him again! Oh, George, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, my wonderful George.
Kathy,
Nice.
drag that animal over to our house.
Oh, you don't have to drag him, Daddy.
Well, get him over there. And this time, hang on to him.
Okay, Daddy. Come on, George. I'll race you to the garage.
Man's best friend. Intelligent and loyal. A half-witted caterpillar has more intelligence than that George.
Jim, how about the car?
I'll come back for it later. Right now, I'm going to call that Reed guy and give him a piece of my mind. That's what I'm going to do. If he can't learn to take better care of a dog, he doesn't have any business owning one.
Jim, I'm sure Mr. Reed is doing everything he can.
Well, it isn't enough. Owning a dog is a responsibility to the dog and the neighborhood and everybody else. Let a dog run wild that way, first thing you know, he'll be hit by a car. He's liable to be killed.
I thought you didn't like George.
I don't. I mean, well, he's all right, I guess, but they have no business letting him run around the way they do.
Jim, please don't be too abrupt. Mr. Reed is just as concerned about George as we are.
Well, why shouldn't he be? It's his dog. Hello? Oh, this is Jim Anderson. Yes, he's here again. And look, George, I think it's high time... Well, okay. He's coming right over.
Jim, when he gets here, please remember that George isn't responsible for George. After all, he's merely the chauffeur.
Which one?
George.
Oh.
He told me this morning that Mr. Reed was going to have the entire fence made higher, and if Mr. Reed thinks that much of George...
Just a minute, Margaret. Bud!
You want me, Dad?
Go outside and hang on to George.
Okay.
Betty!
Yes, Father?
Are you in your room?
Yes, Father.
Well, look out the window and keep an eye on George.
Okay.
He won't get away this time if I can help it. Now, what were you saying, Margaret?
Well, I merely said that if Mr. Reed thought that much of George...
Gee gods, now what?
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Anderson.
Well, you should be. Anybody who can't take better care of a nice dog like George...
We do take care of him, Mr. Anderson. We still can't understand how he gets away.
That's a very poor excuse. How would you feel if I... Wait a minute. How did you get over here so fast?
Well, I left the moment I hung up.
I know, but from clear over on Orchard Avenue...
Oh, we haven't lived on Orchard Avenue for almost a week. We moved into the Willoughby house on the corner.
Oh, no.
When you go grocery shopping this weekend, be sure to see the welcome news about coffee in your store. These days, grocers everywhere are featuring Maxwell House coffee at lower prices. Now, all of you who know and love that wonderful good-to-the-last-drop flavor can enjoy it at the lowest price in months. And for you folks who haven't been getting that famous flavor, Now's the time to bring home a familiar blue Maxwell House tin. Find out how much more satisfaction, more real pleasure it holds for you. Cup after cup, day after day, you can always count on that Maxwell House flavor. For we'll never compromise on the quality of a single pound. Tomorrow, look for Maxwell House at the lowest prices in months. Now, more than ever, today's coffee buy. Get your money's worth and more with coffee that's always good to the last drop.
Another day has come and gone, and so has the perennial George. There's peace once more in the Anderson household, but we wonder just how long it will last. It never does it? Like this.
Most ridiculous thing that ever happened in my whole life. Stealing a dog out of his own yard. They could have had us arrested.
Father.
Yes, Betty?
Have you noticed how quiet it's gotten around here?
I certainly have. Nice and quiet. How was I supposed to know anybody'd moved in? Why didn't they put up curtains or something?
That George is a pretty smart dog. And what a character. You know what he did yesterday?
Whatever he did, I'm not going to pay for it.
Oh, it wasn't anything like that, Dad. Kathy taught him how to play hide and seek. And he was really hiding.
Good. I hope it's years before anybody finds him.
Why, Jim, you know you miss George as much as any of us.
I do? I miss George? Huh. Margaret, this is the first peaceful moment I've had in almost a week.
Daddy!
Kathy, what is it? What's wrong?
Oh, Daddy, the most beautiful thing happened. Mr. Reed gave me a reward.
Why, how nice, Kathy.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, it was certainly the least he could do. What was the reward, Kathy?
I can borrow George anytime I please.
No.
Isn't it wonderful? Here, George. Oh, my beautiful George.
Hiya, boy.
Hello, George.
Now yours to enjoy, an instant coffee you'll love for breakfast every morning. An instant coffee you'll be proud to serve to your dinner guests. It's Instant Maxwell House, the instant coffee with a famous flavor. Here's the happiest combination in coffee. Wonderful good to the last drop flavor, combined with the convenience and thrift of coffee made instantly in the cup. Tomorrow, try Instant Maxwell House, the instant coffee with a famous flavor. Instantly good to the last drop.
In lands across the seas, many people still lack the simplest necessities of life. Food is inadequate, clothing scarce. Help is needed from each of us who can send it. The time to send that help is now. The way to send it is through CARE, C-A-R-E. For this is National Care Week, and Americans everywhere are joining in sending food and clothing abroad. To send a 24-pound package, mail $10 to CARE, New York. That's $10 to CARE, New York. Enclose your name and address and the address of the recipient. Delivery is guaranteed. Join in National Care Week now.
Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. Don't forget, membership cards for the Robert Young Good Drivers Club are waiting for you at your local NBC station. Get a man-to-man or dad-to-daughter pledge and sign up today. Be a good driver. Get your membership card in the Robert Young Good Drivers Club today. Now, until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Always good to the last drop. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Screen Guild Theater, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's Monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
The Johnson Wax Program. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Liza. Haven't you often noticed how important floors are in the appearance of a home? It is a fact that mellow, gleaming waxed floors bring out the beauty of everything in the room, adding a rich charm that you can acquire in no other way. Throughout America, there are countless floors that have been made more beautiful every year with genuine Johnson's Wax. Every application of this famous floor wax gives increased protection and beauty. Johnson's Wax gets down into the pores of the wood, seals out dirt, protects the finish against scuffing feet and sharp heels, and does away forever with tiresome floor scrubbing. There are more than 100 labor-saving uses for Johnson's Wax in your home. It protects and beautifies furniture and woodwork, windowsills, parchment lampshades, and leather goods. You'll find these extra uses listed on the familiar red and yellow package of genuine Johnson's Wax. You can buy this wax in either the paste or liquid form, or in the cream wax, specially formulated for furniture and woodwork. Try some tomorrow. Well, National Apple Week has come and gone. So is National Donut Week. But do you know what this is? This is National Gee Whiz, we positively got to make out that Christmas shopping list today for sure week. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, pens in hand, wrinkles in brow, and no ideas in mind, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, for goodness sakes, McGee, think. You're not being any help at all on this Christmas list.
I'm thinking.
You're no such a thing. You're just sitting there drawing little pictures.
Well, Dad ratted all deep thinkers draw pictures while they're thinking. And what you draw shows what kind of a thinker you are. You see these triangles and circles with the dots in them? That shows that at heart I'm a big business tycoon.
You mean tycoon?
Tycoon was a ball player with Detroit.
That was Ty Cobb, dearie.
Well, then what's a typhoon?
It's a disease. My sister had typhoon and all her hair came out.
That's typhoid. Come to think of it, a typhoon is a big wind. Something like a Toronto.
Oh, so that scribbling of yours proves you're just a big wind, huh?
Oh, there's Mrs. Uppington. The slice of lemon in the social finger bowl.
To see her standing there with her head so high, you'd think she only had one chin. Come in.
Don't think she won't.
How do you do, Mrs. McGee? And Mr. McGee? I'm so glad you're at home. Would you care to take a few tickets on our Club Woman's raffle?
Oh, you're raffling off a club woman? No, thanks, Uppy. I wouldn't know what to do with her if I won.
Now, please, Mr. McGee.
Stop it, you big T.
Oh, well, sure.
What's the raffle for, Mrs. Uppington?
Oh, for a very worthy cause, my dear. Oh. We're going to present the city with a new statue.
Oh, a statue of who?
We'll think of somebody. And now, how many chances will you take?
Well, how much are the tickets, Abigail?
15 cents. And the first prize is a large sum in cash.
Okay, I'll take one.
Oh, so will I. Here's a quarter, Mrs. Uppy.
Here's a half a buck. You got change, Uppy?
Well, no, I haven't, Miss McGee. Now, let me see. I owe Mrs. McGee 10 cents and you 35 cents.
Yeah.
That's 45 cents that I owe you both. Oh, here, I have a dollar bill. Have you got 55 cents more in change?
Nope.
Me either. But I got another $50.
Oh, well, you let me take that. Then I think I can work it out. Now, let me see. I owe you 55 cents.
$1.05 with that other half I gave you.
Well, well, why don't you deduct the tickets, which is 30 cents from the half a buck I gave you, and... Oh, no, you can't do that. Well, why don't you take the quarter and... Oh, that won't do.
I tell you, how about... No.
Oh, I know. Now, here, you take this $50, and I... Oh, no, that's wrong, isn't it? Now, let me see. How much have I here?
$1.25, and we owe you 30 cents.
Yes, exactly. 30 cents from $1.25 is 95 cents. Now, has anyone a nickel?
Here's a nickel.
Oh, splendid. And here's $1. And here are your 2 tickets.
Oh,
and
thanks.
thank you so much. Goodbye.
$1.25. 2 tickets for 15 cents.
$1.35. That'll be, let's see, I gave her a half a buck and she... Hey, somebody got gypped on that deal. Was it us?
Well, search me. You ought to know. You're the big business Tyrone.
That's Typhoon.
It is not. A typhoon is a bottle that squirts soda water.
That's a siphon.
Siphons are snakes.
Well, then what's a python?
A python is a snake that looks like...
Gildersleeve.
Hello there, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Pipper.
Hi, Bucky.
Say, do you mind if I borrow my coal shovel?
Why, certainly not, Mr. Gildersleeve. You can borrow your coal shovel any time you want.
Yeah, but don't forget to bring it back, Gildy. Last time you borrowed your coal shovel, you kept it pretty near 2 weeks.
I'm awfully sorry about that, McGee. But I paid a lot of money for that coal shovel, and, well, I like to take a look at it now and then.
What you want it for? What did you want it for, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, I wasn't home this morning, and when they delivered my 5 tons of coal, the driver dumped it right on my front lawn.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes. I called the coal company, and they said one of the neighbors told them to dump it there. If I ever lay my hands on the long-nosed, interfering, meddlesome fool...
Now, wait a minute, Gildersleeve. Be careful what you say about me.
So it was you, was it?
Was I?
McGee, you ruined my lawn. I've got to shovel 5 tons of coal into the basement.
Well...
And by George, you're going to help me.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Gildersleeve, if you ain't the most brazen, high-handed linthead I ever saw. Here I do you a favor by telling the coal men where to put the coal, and then you come barging in here and asking for your coal shovel to put the coal in the basement and demand that I help. Why, that's un-American.
I'd refuse to do it, dearie. He can't force you.
No.
Oh, I can't, eh?
No.
I'll drag him out there by the scruff of the neck.
Who drag who out by what scruff of whose neck? You lay one pinky on me, Gildersleeve, and I'll push your chest back up where it used to be.
You will, eh? Why, you little pupstart. I'll shake you till your eyes roll around like a pinball game.
Oh, yeah. You big muscle-bound muscle-bound moose. I'll choke you till that foghorn voice of yours sounds like a penny whistle. I'll do worse than that. Molly.
Yes, dearie.
Take Gildersleeve's name off of that Christmas list.
It isn't on.
Well, write it on and then scratch it off again. I'll just give somebody else that Daisy air rifle.
You're a hard man, McGee. Gee whiz, I've always wanted a Daisy air rifle. I'll bet you don't know what I was going to give you.
What?
I won't tell.
Oh, come on, I told you.
Well, but you're not going to do it. You're mad at me.
I ain't mad at you, Gil. Honest. What you going to give me?
Well... You know how you've always wanted a Boy Scout knife with 6 blades.
Oh, boy, a real scout knife, huh? One that's got a thing on it that you can hang it on your belt with?
Yeah.
I give up. Look, Gildy, we shouldn't ought to argue like this here. It's too near Christmas. We ought to be full of goodwill and the Christmas spirit, brotherhood, and love for your neighbor and all stuff like that there. I'll help you shovel in your dirty old coal.
It isn't just on account of I'm giving you that scout knife.
Gildersleeve, that knife never entered my mind.
Yeah? For a while there, I thought it was going to enter your throat. Now, if you two anthracite athletes are going to shovel that coal, go ahead and do it.
Okay. Get your coat and hat, McGee. It's pretty cold out there.
Okay. I got an old coat right here in this box.
Yeah, well, hurry up.
Gotta straighten up that closet one of these days. Come on, Gildy. Front yard Gildersleeve's got here, ain't it, Molly?
Oh, it's just beautiful.
Oh, it certainly is.
Even that big pile of coal is very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Contrasted with the white snow and all.
Hey, what are you two talking about? You've seen my front yard 1,000 times.
Pipe down, Gildersleeve. We're planting the scene.
Oh. Excuse me.
Well, get to work, boys. I can hardly wait to see McGee swing that shovel.
Don't worry about me. I ain't so bad.
Well, hello there, kid.
Oh, hi, old timer.
Hello there, old
buy some
timer.
plum pudding for the holidays? Best you ever ate. Make it myself.
Will it keep?
Indefinitely, daughter.
Fine. Ask us again next year.
That's pretty good, Johnny. But that ain't the way I heard it.
Did you hear it?
The way I heard it. Wait a minute. How about you, Throckmorton? Want to order plum pudding?
No, I don't.
Good, not. The way I heard it, one feller says to t'other feller, say, says, Hey, wait a minute. Either of you folks want to order any mincemeat?
Not me.
I don't believe so.
Okay. One feller says to t'other feller, say, says, I see you're listening to Fibber McGee and Molly. Gonna hear 'em again next week at this time? No, says t'other feller. Not if they're this week next time. Well, sorry you kids don't want any plum pudding. It's going to be mighty good.
I didn't even know you could cook, old-timer.
Can't, Johnny. But if I get enough orders, by criminy, I'll learn. So long, kid.
All right, McGee, get busy.
You better start it off, Gildy. It's your shovel.
Well, we can't rush into this now.
Well, now, listen. One of you better start, or I'll go back to the house and bring Uncle Dennis over. He'll do it.
Oh, no. Get busy, Gildersleeve. Come on, snap in there.
All right.
That's it. There.
Oh. Now try shoveling some in with the window open.
I thought I told you to go down there and open that basement window, McGee.
I did open the basement window. You threw that in the living room. Here, let me take that shovel. I'll show you how it ought to be done. With rhythm.
What do you mean, rhythm?
He means you've really got to swing that coal, Porter. I didn't like it either. Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Well, hello, folks.
Hi, Harlow.
What's the matter?
What you mean, what's the matter?
I mean, the way Gildersleeve's staring at me. What have I done?
It's what you're going to do that fascinates me, my boy.
What's he going to do, Gildy?
You know as well as I do what he's going to do.
Huh?
He's going to give out with some advertising.
Well, so what?
I want to see how he gets into it, that's all. Two men standing over a pile of coal with a shovel. Now, how can he get into Johnson's self-polishing glow coat from that situation?
Why, it's perfectly simple. What happens when you shovel coal in the snow? You get your feet muddy. You track it into the kitchen. But your wives care? Certainly not. Their kitchen linoleum is protected with Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, the no-rubbing polish that shines as it dries. All she has to do is wipe up the muddy tracks with a damp cloth. No rubbing, no scrubbing, no mopping. Why, Johnson's glow coat writes its own sales talk in this situation.
By George, I guess it does.
Didn't even have to give it any thought, did you, Mr. Wilcox?
Why, of course not. I just looked down at that pile of coal there in the snow, and there it was, in black and white. Well, I'll see you later, folks.
Someday, mark my words, that guy's going to get stumped. And you know what'll happen then?
No, what?
He'll cut the stump up into boards, build a floor, and cover it with linoleum and go on from there. Well, Gildy, what do you say we knock off for a little rest?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, for goodness sakes, you've thrown one shovelful of coal into that cellar and you stop to rest. I'm going to go back to the house and finish that Christmas shopping list.
Hey, Molly, make us a pot of coffee, will you? We'll be kind of tired and cold before long.
The way you've been working, I'd suggest tea and ladyfingers. I'll be back in a huff with the stuff.
Well, let's say we get going, Gildy.
Yes, I guess we better.
Yeah.
You start, McGee. I want to light a cigar.
No, you start. I want to unwrap a stick of gum.
Well, that's all right. No hurry.
Yeah.
This coal has been in the ground 2 million years. I guess it can wait 5 minutes longer.
I'll say so. It's the rush and scurry of modern living that's devitalizing the human race.
Yeah.
I made it. Some gum, Gildy?
No, thanks. Have a cigar?
No, thanks. There's nothing harder in the world than shoveling coal, is there?
Hi, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, little girl.
Hi, sis.
Hi. What you doing? Who's watching?
We're shoveling this coal into Mr. Gildersleeve's basement, and we're very busy. So you better run
We
along.
got steam heat at our house, I betcha.
Well, so have I, little girl.
Oh, and what you want the coal for?
The coal is what makes the steam, sis.
Oh.
That's right, little girl.
How can all that black coal make all that white steam?
Now, look, sis, we ain't got time to delve into the physical and chemical aspects of the matter, but roughly, the steam is a result of combustion in the form of a vapor. You know what a vapor is?
Sure I do, I betcha. We got one on our windshield.
Oh, my goodness. Windshield vapor. No, little girl. Let me explain this. Steam is the result of the evaporation of water under extreme heat. Now, you know what makes the whistle blow on a steam engine.
Sure, the engineer.
Now, wait a minute, sis. The simple fact remains that we got to get this coal shoveled in, see?
Mhm.
Like everybody else, Mr. Gildersleeve has got to keep warm this winter, you know.
Gee, does everybody in the world use coal, mister?
Practically, yes.
Well, with few exceptions, such as Ireland. In Ireland, they burn peat.
Pete who?
Not peat anybody, just peat.
Oh, an orphan, huh?
No, not an orphan. Peat, little girl, is semi-carbonized vegetable matter.
Well, gee...
You better let me handle this, Gildersleeve. Now, look, little girl.
All righty.
I'll try to explain.
See, that'll be peachy, mister. Go ahead.
I will if you'll quit interrupting me. You see, the coal...
I won't interrupt you anymore, I betcha.
That's fine. Now then, you see...
Because interrupting people isn't polite, is it?
No, it isn't. Now, for the love of Pete.
If you love Pete, why do you burn him?
Oh, sure. Take it, Gildy.
Okay. Now, look here, little girl. We're very busy, so you run along and play so we can get...
I can't, I betcha. Not till I give you the message.
What message?
My daddy went hunting and he brought back a deer. He wants to know if you and Mr. McGee can come over tomorrow night for a vanishing dinner.
Oh, you mean a venison dinner, don't you, sis?
Do I?
Sure.
Okay.
You tell your father we'll be delighted to come, little girl.
Tell enough for me, too, sis. This is the first we ever been invited to your house.
Yes, first time for me also.
I know it. Papa said he couldn't resist the opportunity, I betcha.
What opportunity? This is just a venison dinner, isn't it?
Sure, but he said he could hardly wait to see you two passing the buck to each other at close range.
The King's Men sing The Bad Humor Man.
Hey, little kiddies, do you hear that noise? Better fly, better fly, better fly. Here comes the enemy of girls and boys. What a guy, what a guy, what a guy. Hear his bell, hear him yell. Drop your philosophies and drop your toys and run pell-mell. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. It's the Bad Humor Man. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. With a frown on his pan. Oh, he hates his job and he hates his beat. He hates everyone on the street. So he sings ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling as he goes on his way. With his wagon rumbling, he keeps grumbling. Gee, it's an awful day. Up every morning at the break of day. What a life, what a life, what a life. Cold cup of coffee on the breakfast tray. What a wife, what a wife, what a wife. All day long, things go wrong. So as he wanders on his weary way, he sings this song. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. I'm the Bad Humor Man. Ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling, ting-a-ling. I got a frown on my pan. Oh, I don't like anything, no siree. I hate people and they hate me. Grouchy old feller indeed is he. Ought to hang him to a sour apple tree. Come along, come along, come along. We can stop him today. When he starts in grumbling, send him tumbling on. Here's that Bad Humor Man.
I know you're just as grimy, but are you as groggy as I am, Gildersleeve?
I'm pretty tired, McGee, but it's good for us. Gives tone to the muscles.
Yeah, at the next tone signal, that's my muscle signing off. If it wasn't for that scout knife you're giving me, Gildersleeve, oh, here comes Molly with a hot coffee.
Welcome, Mrs. McGee, welcome.
Well, which one of you boys is Amos?
Yes.
Now, don't twit us, Molly. We're all wore out.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Will Mammy's little cold black rose have a mug of java?
Yeah, thanks.
You know, this is mighty nice of you, Mrs. McGee.
No, not at all, not at all. How many lumps, Mr. Gildersleeve?
There's about a half a ton there. Will be. Oh, you mean sugar? Yeah, 2, please, and a few drops of cream.
Well, a cream shake, Fisher, and Mrs. McGee and Mr. Gildersleeve. Hello.
Good day, Mr.
Hello,
Papa.
Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, I don't like to be making any derogatory remarks, but why don't you wash your faces? My goodness, I didn't know you could get so dirty on the radio.
Well, you can't shovel coal without getting a little grimy, Nick.
Too bad you weren't here a couple of hours ago, Mr. DePoplis. You could have helped them.
Oh, not me, Cupid. It's too strenuous for me. My doctor says I must not do any violent exercises. You know, arthritis.
Oh, have you got arthritis?
Sure, he's my doctor, Dr. Stanopoulos Arthritis.
Well, what's he treating you for, Nick?
$2 a visit.
Oh, what have you got?
$1.50, but my credit is good, sweetie.
Now, this isn't getting us any place.
Where do you want to get, Cupid? My car is right around the corner.
No, it's just an expression, Mr. DePoplis. I'm not going anywhere. I'm waiting to see these 2 chevaliers get the rest of that coal in.
We just stopped for a breathing spell, Mrs. McGee.
Yeah, you don't mind if we breathe, do you?
I don't care if you have bell-bottom pants. But I wish you'd get through and clean yourself up.
Me too, Cupid. I think they are disgraceful to the neighborhood. You know what I would do if I was shoveling all that coal?
What would you do?
I wouldn't do it. Well, I'd better be getting along, and don't forget, we want you all to come over to our house for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving? Hey, that's 11 months and 2 weeks away.
We can wait. So long now.
Come on, boys. Get busy. You'll catch cold standing around here like this.
Okay, Mrs. McGee. I'll take the rest of it.
Nice going, Gildersleeve.
Thanks, chum. And I'll have to admit you've been a great help to me.
Oh, it was nothing that any red-blooded, clean-living American boy wouldn't have done, Gildersleeve.
Oh, yes, it was, McGee.
Huh?
My goodness, the way you've toiled and slaved to help me today, with your little biceps quivering and your frail little legs tottering.
Oh. I ain't got legs like a frail. Don't you get it, Molly? He says something about my frail little legs.
Ain't funny, McGee.
Oh, well, they're all tired anyway.
Now, come on. Put your coat on before you catch your death of cold.
My coat? Where did I put my... Hey, you know what I done?
No, what'd you do, McGee?
When I went down to open your cellar window, I laid my coat down on the basement floor. And you know where it is now? Down there in your basement under 5 ton of coal. It's a good thing it's an old coat.
I'll give it back to you in the spring, McGee.
For goodness sakes, McGee, I don't think that's anything to laugh about. Go down there right away and dig it out.
Oh, no, sir, not me. I'm all wore out now. I was good.
Mr. McGee.
Huh?
Oh, Mr. McGee, I have wonderful news for you.
What is it, Mrs. Uppington?
You won first prize on our raffle.
What?
Well, that's wonderful.
I won first prize?
Yes, you did. Now, give me the ticket, Mr. McGee, and I'll give you the prize right now.
The tickets?
Yes, the raffle tickets, McGee. Where are they?
Why, hey, I left them tickets in my coat pocket, and my coat is down under the... Oh, no. No. I wouldn't shovel 5 ton of coal again for $100.
Oh, but Mr. McGee, the prize is $100.
What?
Yes.
It is? Give me that shovel, Gildersleeve, and get out of my way.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to shovel 5 tons of coal again for $100. Come on.
How many hours of work do you save in a year by using Johnson's self-polishing glow coat? Well, it's a good many, I can tell you. Enough to do plenty of other things. Bridge, movies, playing with your children, or just plain and fancy sitting around. Glow Coat is a valuable time saver. It does away with tiresome floor scrubbing and requires no rubbing or buffing. Practically no work at all from you. And yet Glow Coat makes your floors very beautiful, keeps the colors of your linoleum bright and fresh, makes the linoleum last longer. No wonder Johnson's Glow Coat has gone on month after month, increasing in popularity. If you're not a Glow Coat fan, try this easy-to-use floor polish just once on your kitchen floor. Oh, and by the way, when you're looking for a practical, inexpensive Christmas gift for your friends, why not consider either Johnson's Wax or Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat? I can assure you they'll be as welcome as they are useful.
5 tons of coal. A measly $100. Silly me to bury my coat like this. Look at these calluses. Okay, Molly, okay, you've done enough. Hand me the shovel, I'll do the rest. Good night.
Good night, Hall.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
If you're the proud owner of one of those handsome new two-tone cars, let me make this suggestion. Keep the finish beautiful by protecting it occasionally with Car New, Johnson's sensational new auto polish. Car New will keep the finish looking like new and will save you work in the bargain because Car New actually cleans and wax polishes in one operation, 2 jobs at one and the same time. No longer is wax polishing expensive or laborious. Whether your car is old or new, give it this modern beauty treatment. Ask your dealer for Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. More classic old-time radio coming your way next.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly.
The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Here's My Heart. When your friends come to visit you, are you glad to invite them back to your kitchen? Are you proud of the looks of that kitchen floor, for example? You can be if it's protected with a beautiful, lasting glow coat polish. Then your friends will admire its sparkling beauty, the freshness of the colors, too. And if they ask you how you do it, you can say with Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. So many housekeepers have switched to the easy glow coat way of keeping linoleum clean and spotless. Glow Coat saves work because it requires no rubbing or buffing. And Glow Coat saves the linoleum, too, making it last much longer. So, for your linoleum and other floors, too, save work with Johnson's Glow Coat. Ladies and gentlemen, fate is about to knock at the door at 79 Wistful Vista. And here in the living room at 79 Wistful Vista, where fate is about to knock at the door, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
Who's that?
You heard the man. It's Fate.
Oh. Come in, Fate.
Mr. Fragile live here?
Who?
Mr. Fragile. I got an express package for him. This is 79 Wistful Vista, ain't it?
That's right. Let's see the package. Oh, this says Mr. Fibber McGee. Oh, that fragile refers to the contents, sir.
Oh, excuse me. Well, sign for it right here, buddy.
Okay. There you are. Now, who's it from? Is there a return address?
Well, let me see. Oh, yeah, it's from Use No Hooks. Goodbye.
To Mr. Fragile from Use No Hooks. Oh, dear, where will this end up?
Well, what is the package, dearie?
Search me. It's insured for $800, so it couldn't be that model airplane kit I sent for.
Well, it's marked fragile. Maybe they sent a hostess with it. Say, I think I know what it is.
You do? What?
Well, you open it and see. It's a surprise.
Huh? A nice leather case. Oh, look, it's got my name stamped on it. In gold letters.
Sure.
What the... Hey, look, it says, Fibber McGee, Special Representative of the Meaning Watch Corporation.
Sure. Surely you've read the advertisements about meaning watches.
Yeah, sure.
Every little meaning has a movement all its own.
Yeah, but I ain't their representative.
Oh, yes, you are.
Huh?
Well, I met the president of the watch company at a bridge party at Mrs. Uppington's.
Yeah?
And he said he was looking for a local representative, and I suggested you.
Oh, gee, Molly, I appreciate this, but Dad Braddock, I ain't got time to handle watches. I'm too busy with my stamp collection.
You haven't got a stamp collection.
Well, I can start one, can't I?
Yes, but on this job, you get a $50 drawing account and 10% commission.
I do? Oh, boy, say, this is a job, ain't it?
Sure.
See, now, if I sell 100 watches at $100 apiece, that's 10,000. 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. Oh, boy, $1,000 a week.
But now, look...
Hey, let's move out of this dump and take a suite at the hotel. This is no place for a guy making $1,000 a week. I got a position to maintain. I have to...
Come in.
Hello, kids. Hey, can I use your names for reference? I want to be your scoutmaster.
Why, certainly, Mr. Oldtimer. Go right ahead.
I didn't know you were interested in scouting, old-timer. You know how to build a fire without matches?
Yep. Rub 2 sticks of wood together. I've done it once. Hard work, too.
Did you start a fire?
Nope. But I got so warm I didn't need one.
Well, now you just go right ahead and use our names as reference, Mr. Oldtimer.
Thanks, baby.
The way you're covered with moss, old-timer, maybe the scouts can use you to tell which way is north.
That's pretty good, Johnny. But that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one Lithuanian feller says to t'other Lithuanian feller, say, he says.
Well, what'd he say?
Dunno, daughter. I don't savvy Lithuanian.
Well, come on, Molly. I'm anxious to get started selling these watches. Boy, they're beautiful, aren't they?
Yes, and you better take very good care of them.
Don't worry. I'm used to taking care of beautiful things ever since I married you.
Oh. Why, McGee, what a sweet thing to say.
Oh, well, shucks. Remember, I said it anyway in case I don't get time to buy you a Valentine. Now, let's see. Who'd I better call on first?
Well, how about the Wistful Vista Friendly Credit Jewelers?
Oh, they're the time payment outfit, aren't they?
Yeah. $1 down and let's grow old together. But that's a good place to start. You want me to go with you, dearie?
Absolutely. You got me this job, didn't you?
Yes, but...
That's why I want you along. You had faith in me, and you're too young to have your faith lifted.
Oh.
Well, how do I look, Molly?
Better wear a necktie.
Oh, I don't want to wear a necktie.
Remember, $1,000 a week.
Oh, that's right. I'll wear my spats, too. Where are my spats?
Search me, I don't believe I...
Oh, I know. I left them here in the hall closet. Got to straighten out that closet one of these days.
Well, why don't you do it right now?
It's too soon.
Why?
Still gets a laugh.
McGee, did you read the little pamphlet that came with the samples on how to give a sales talk?
Nope, I didn't need to. These watches sell themselves.
How do you know?
It said so in the pamphlet. Shucks, when I get those...
Hi, Mr. McGee.
Oh, hello there, little girl. Hey, what you doing downtown?
I'm giving Abraham Lincoln a birthday party, and I had to come down and get some decorations.
Oh, well. Well, that's very patriotic of you to celebrate Lincoln's birthday, sis. He was a wonderful man.
I know it. My teacher said he walked 20 miles through the snow to take back a book he borrowed once.
Yes. Yes, I guess people were more honest in them days, sis.
I know it.
Nowadays, if one of your friends borrows a book, you can kiss him goodbye. And if Madeline Carroll is listening, I'll be glad to loan her Robinson Crusoe. I'm just kidding, Molly.
Yeah? Did you get Bob Hope's permission to use Madeline Carroll's name?
Well,
Hey,
Chuck.
Mr. McGee.
Huh?
Why do they call Mr. Lincoln the great
Emancipator?
Yeah. Why'd they call him that? Why did they?
Why, because he emancipated people. He set them free.
Oh.
Sure.
Well, and Willie Toops' brother is one of those, I betcha.
Huh? What you mean, sis?
He's the usher at the Bijou Theater, and when Willie and I go in, he sets us free.
Well, I'm glad you're learning about Lincoln, sis. He was one of the world's really great men.
Mhm.
And there's no bunk about that.
Oh, yes, there is, I bet.
Oh, no, there isn't.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, no, there isn't.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, what did you ever hear about Lincoln that you couldn't believe?
Oh, that stuff about him living in a log cabin, I betcha.
What? What's so hard to believe about Lincoln living in a log cabin?
Well, he was too tall in the first place, and in the second place, he would have drowned in all that syrup.
Well, come on, Molly. I got to get started selling these watches.
Say, are you sure you know your sales approach, McGee?
Hello, folks. What's this about a sales approach?
Well, McGee is the agent for some expensive watches, Mr. Wilcox. And maybe you can help him along.
Oh, he can't help me, Molly. Selling Johnson's Glow Coat is one thing, but selling watches is entirely different.
Oh, I don't know. They're both quality products, aren't they? Each is the best of its kind.
Yes, but a good watch tells you what time to go places and do things.
Yes, and Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat gives you the time to go places and do things by saving hours of housework.
But now look, a nice watch is something that can be handed down from generation to generation. It's an heirloom.
Well, so is the knowledge of good housekeeping. And no burglar can sneak in and steal that, you know.
Hey, now, wait a minute, Harlow. Let's put it this way. Suppose you were broke and hungry, and all you had in the world was one of my watches and a can of your you-know-what. Which would be the most valuable to you?
Well, I'd say it's about even. You could hock the watch to get some food, and with Glow Coat on the linoleum, you wouldn't need any furniture. You could eat off the floor.
Wow.
Well, good luck to you, pal. So long, Molly.
Imagine that guy. They say he's always been so interested in kitchen linoleum that when he was just a kid, his mother kept 2 dishes under the kitchen table.
Really?
One marked for Fido and one marked for Harlow. Oh, here's the jewelry store, Molly. Let's go in.
Good evening. Good afternoon. I'm very sorry there. What was it you wanted, please? We're having a special bargain sale today on precious stones. Look, here's our few there.
Hey, what is that? I never saw a pink stone like that.
That is our pigeon's blood ruby.
Yeah?
Oh.
Pigeon's blood ruby.
Yes.
I think your pigeon needs a transfusion.
How much are you charging?
Look, McGee, you better be getting down to business.
Yeah, I think so, too. I'm the exclusive representative for the Meaning Watch Company, sis. The watch with the hands that go round in the best circles.
Yes, with a meaning in your pocket, there's a meaning in your life.
Now, I'm sure that you're familiar with the quality of our products, sis. The name Meaning on a watch is like sterling on silver, like Johnson's wax on, like Johnson on wax, and like
Wrigley on woolen underwear.
Excuse it, please, but our clientele don't buy such expensive watches.
Well, show us some samples, dearie. That'll break her down.
Good idea. Now, look, miss, what was your name, sis?
Callahan, Rebecca Callahan.
Okay, McCushla. Now, if you'll just cast them smiling Irish eyes of yours over these beautiful examples of the watchmaker's art, I think you'll have to admit that...
Okay, everybody. Up with your hands. This is a stick-up.
Heavens,
Stand up. And you, sister, hand over all the diamonds and emeralds. Hey.
Boy, Uncle Louie, it's happened.
Yes. Hey, what the... Who's turning that alarm? I'll learn you to get smart with me. Hey.
Oh.
Hey. I'll be back and get you later, sister.
Oh, gee.
Why, that big Lugan?
McGee, come back here. You'll get charged.
I don't care. That guy can't ruin a sale for me and get away with it. You stay here, Molly.
I'll do nothing of the kind. If you're going after him, I'm going after you.
Well, then, come on, then. Bring the sample case and hurry.
Oh, this is awful.
Hey, stop that man. It's a holdup.
Stop, please.
Stop him. Hey, officer, grab that man down the street there. It was a holdup.
He tried to rob the jewelry store.
All right, sir, all right. Not so fast there, me bucko. What's all the shooting for? give me your gun or I'll bop you with me nightstick.
Dad, it, I haven't got a gun.
This man isn't the thief, officer. The hold-up man went that way.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Now come down and explain
I'm
yourself.
telling you, you big lug. That guy tried to hold up the jewelry store. Are you going to stand here and let him get away? Why, you are...
Pipe down, you. What have you got in that case?
Now, you let go of that. Them are mine. That is, I'm in charge of them, at least.
Aha! A dozen gold watches. Caught you with the goods, didn't I, me bucko? Call the wagon, somebody!
Oh, my.
Dad, you give me back them watches.
Sonny, where you're going, time don't mean a thing.
But, officer, those watches aren't his.
You're telling me?
No, but I can explain.
All right, now come along quietly. But I'll put the nipples on both of you.
You'll be sorry for this. I'm inspecting the sheriff. I can...
Men sing Coming Through the Ride. Body cry. Every little laddie has a bonny little lassie, but nay, they say, hey, I, yes. All we lads and lassies get together in the heather when we're coming, but we're a-coming through the ride.
Now, don't worry about anything, Molly. I gave that cop a list of people to identify us. We'll get out of this all right.
But when? I don't want to spend 90 of the best days of my life in jail on bread and water. Though it would be a good way to take off a few pounds. Why, it'd be a wonderful way to take off a few pounds.
Hey, don't talk yourself into it. We want to get out of here. Now, look,
All right, officer. Bring the suspects up to the bench. On your feet, you two. Step up to the bench.
Now, look here, Judge. I'll have you done...
Be quiet. What's the charge, officer? Well, Your Honor, there was a jewelry store stuck up at 14th and Oak, and a lot of excitement, and these two were running away from the scene of the crime, and I nabbed this bird with a bag full of gold watches.
Ladies and gentlemen, any Irish characters heard in this production are not to be confused with the Abbey Players.
Order, please, order. Now then, what's your name?
Fibber McGee, 79 Wistful this end. We want to get off at Kansas City.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're trying to railroad us, aren't you?
How about the president of the Meaning Watch Company that I represent? Why don't you get in touch with him?
We've already wired him with a full description of you. But I'll warn you, it looks pretty serious. You were practically caught in flagrante delicto.
That's a lie. We were caught right here in Wistful Vista.
Silence. Now, while we're waiting for witnesses...
Say, Judge, are you holding a couple of friends of mine here on some silly charge? Oh, hello, Fibber and Molly. What is this?
Look, Harlow, tell the judge what you know. You know us.
Quiet! What's your name, mister?
I'm Harlow Wilcox, and I can vouch for...
Wait a minute, you. Didn't I give you a ticket for parking overtime last week? And did you ever show up to pay the fine?
Oh, my gosh, I forgot all about it.
Oh, so you're defying the law, too, eh?
Oh.
A fine bunch of criminals.
But wait a minute. These people...
We know all about these people. Officer, hold this man Wilcox on an open charge.
Oh, well, thanks for coming in anyway, Harlow.
Yes. It'll be nice to look across the prison yard and see one of the old familiar faces.
All right, let's get on with this.
Yeah, that's what I say. Let's get
It's
on.
an outrage, I tell you. I had nothing to do with stealing that elephant. Why, hi there. Good day, my dear. And to you, Weasel Pole.
Oh, hello, Mr. Boomer. Will you identify us to this judge?
Yeah, look, Boomer. Tell the judge how I was elected president of the Chamber of Commerce, will you?
Oh, yes. Glad you mentioned that, String Bean. Have a newspaper clipping of the event right here.
Let me see it, please.
Certainly. I have it right here someplace. Let me see now where I put that clipping.
Oh.
Clipping. Here's a pair of little pink patties I carry in memory of. The best lamb chops I ever ate. Small box of bicarbonate of soda. I'm going to settle somebody's hash. There's a wire from home saying our cat just had kittens. Oh, not little Tommy. And a check for a short beer. Well, imagine that. No clipping.
Oh, dear.
Come to think of it, I used that clipping to clean my razor just before I used the razor to clean a bookie joint where I'd just been cleaned.
Hold this man, too, officer. Now, look, McGee, before the rest of your gang shows up to make things tougher for you, why don't you confess?
That's right, I ain't got anything to confess. You can't convict me on nothing but circumstantial evidence. And I demand a recount.
Here's Miss Abigail Uppington, Your Honor. She says she knows the suspect.
Well, I must say that this is... Well, what is all this, may I ask?
Mrs. Uppington, these people are charged with holding up a jewelry store. Can you vouch for them?
Why, of course I can, Your Honor.
Atta girl, Abby. We sure appreciate this.
Oh, not at all, Miss McGee. I owe you a favor after all the trouble you saved me about Fifi.
Who's Fifi?
That's Uppy's puppy.
May she please, Your Honor. You see, I started out to get a 1941 dog license for her, but Mr. McGee told me I didn't need a license for so small a dog, which gave me no end of trouble.
Oh, so he said you didn't need any dog license, did he? Officer?
Yes, sir?
Add another charge against this man. Conspiracy to defraud the city. And hold this woman for non-payment of taxes.
Your Honor, I protest.
Officer, I think we've stumbled into something big here. This looks like a regular crime ring.
Now, look here, you have no right to hold Mrs. Uppington. She's one of the wealthiest women in Wistful Vista.
That's very interesting. Officer, make a note to investigate this woman's income tax return. She might be the fence.
Oh, I'm a fence, am I?
Greetings, Gate.
Be quiet, you. Now, before I set your bail, McGee, I want you to know that...
Well, what's going on?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good day, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Fibber.
Hi, Gildy.
Mrs. Uppington. Mr. Wilcox. Mr. Boomer. Well.
Look, Gildy, they're holding us here on a bum rap.
Yep.
Tell this ham-handed horse's neck with a hickory hammer who we are, will you?
Order in the court. A few more offensive remarks like that, my good man, and you'll be charged with contempt.
I'd like to open a charge account here, too.
Now, wait a minute, folks. I'm sure this can be ironed out. Your Honor, this man is my next-door neighbor, and a respectable citizen.
And who are you?
I am Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, president of the Gildersleeve Girdle and Garment Company. Your wife probably wears a Gildersleeve girdle.
She does. And she thinks they're terrible. Incidentally, aren't you the Gildersleeve who occasionally writes about civic affairs for the newspaper?
Why, yes. Nothing very literary, you know, but on occasion I flatter myself.
Didn't you write a letter last week complaining about the graft and inefficiency in the police department?
Well, I did. Well, you see, Your Honor,
You can sit between Mr. Wilcox and Mrs. Uppington. Move over, Mr. Boomer.
Book Mr. Gildersleeve, officer.
Yes, sir. You can't do this to me. I demand to know what I am being charged with.
Just call it a little personal revenge, my friend. Your girdles pinch my wife, I'm pinching you.
You're a hard man, Your Honor.
All right, officer. Take all these people away and lock them up.
All right.
Come on.
This is an outfit. Hope I get my usual cell. I left the cigar on the radiator now.
I shall take this up with the woman's
Wait till I write to
club.
Racine about it.
All right, quiet now. In you go.
Don't push me.
Well, I guess I'm sort of the hostess here, folks, so make yourselves comfortable.
Please, Mr. McGee, how can you be so... Oh, with such levity in this terrible predicament? Think of it, an Uppington in jail. Oh.
You don't have any social position in the clink, Uppy. There's no who's who in the who's gal.
By George, if it wasn't for one thing, I'd write to my congressman about this.
What's that one thing, Throckmorton?
Well, no matter what I write to him about, he always sends me a package of seeds. And always petunia seeds. And I hate petunias.
Quiet, Mr. Gildersleeve, or they'll be bringing another charge against you. Hating flowers.
Oh.
Gee whiz, I've got to get out of here. I've still got 6 Johnson wax dealers to call on.
Oh, please, Mr. Wilcox. After all, your commercial difficulties seem a bit trivial and you...
Oh, now, look, everybody, take it easy. We'll be out of here just as soon as they hear from the president of the watch company, for whom I'm the local representative of. Hey, officer, didn't you get a wire from Mr. Meaning yet?
Sure we did, laddie buck.
Well, then let us out of here. He verified the fact that I was selling watches for him, didn't he?
No.
What? What you mean, Bud?
He said his wistful vista representative was tall, dark, and handsome, magnetic personality, and a snappy dresser. And if you're that, I'm Ronald Boyer. Now shut up and don't bother me again.
How'd he ever get that description of me? I never told him. I didn't even apply for the job. Molly got it for me when... Oh. Hey, Molly.
Yes, dearie.
Just what did you tell the president of the watch company to get me this job?
Well, I told him you were tall, dark, and handsome, and...
Well, what was the idea? You know I ain't tall, dark, and handsome.
Well, I can dream, can't I?
Do you know what is the most inexpensive way to make your home more beautiful? It's by the regular use of genuine Johnson's wax on your floors, furniture, and woodwork. Every application of this world-famous wax polish adds mellow, rich beauty. And every application also adds greater protection and makes house cleaning easier. In fact, I don't know of any product that you can buy that offers more advantages. Floors that are wax protected with genuine Johnson's wax take on a soft, satiny luster and gleam that set off all your furnishings. A hard film of Johnson's wax protects floors against scuffing feet and scraping heels. Dust is whisked away in a jiffy. And there are 100 extra uses for Johnson's wax. For windowsills, lampshades, picture frames, furniture, leather goods. You can buy Johnson's wax now in 3 forms. The familiar paste and liquid forms, and the new cream wax especially formulated for furniture and woodwork. Order some tomorrow.
Good thing you had sense enough to wire the Johnson Wax Company, Molly, or we'd have still been in that calaboose.
Yeah. Well, now that you're out, McGee, are you going to keep on with the job?
I should say not. And what's more, the first guy that says watch to me is going to get socked right in the eye. Why, when I think what I want...
Only got 10 seconds more, Fibber. Watch yourself.
Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Here, wait a minute, George, while I take the rest of this message. Now, let's see how it reads. Just cleaned and wax polished my car with Johnson's Car New. Boy, was it a cinch. Half the time, half the work it used to take. Car New cleans and wax polishes in one operation. Low cost. Tell your friends to buy CARNU. Johnson's Car New.
Our next broadcast is the brainchild of American comedy duo George Burns and real-life wife and partner Gracie Allen. In September of 1934, their 30-minute program premiered as The Adventures of Gracie. The title changed in 36, and from 36 till 50, the series switched back and forth between NBC and CBS until it was canceled. They re-emerged on television with a successful situation comedy which lasted from 1950 to 1958. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present Burns and Allen on HOJO Radio.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got company.
This is Bill Goodwin speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen. Their two distinguished guests, Hosea Turby and Deems Taylor, Jimmy Cash, and Paul Whiteman and his music. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, Gracie is still determined to play at Paul Whiteman's concert at Carnegie Hall next Tuesday. She's practicing now, and George and Paul are trying to make her listen to reason.
Gracie, you can't do this to me. You'll ruin my reputation.
What'd you say, Paul?
I said you can't do this to me. You'll ruin my reputation.
What'd you say, Paul?
For Pete's sake, will you stop playing and listen? Paul said you'll ruin his reputation.
Oh, well, that's silly, Paul. We won't be alone in Carnegie Hall. Thousands of people will be there.
Yeah, that's what he was afraid of.
But, Paul, I played with you last year at a concert given by the Beverly Hills Uplift Society.
But this is different. This is Carnegie Hall. All the critics will be there.
What'd you say, Paul?
I said all the critics will be there.
Pardon me, Paul. Hello? Oh, yes, the insurance company. Well, look, here's what I wanted. I'm going to play the piano in Carnegie Hall, and I want to insure my finger. Which finger? Why, the one I play the piano with. What? Oh, my, that's a lot of money. Well, I'll tell you what. Just insure it up to the first knuckle. Goodbye.
Gracie, we've been friends for a long time. Why don't you forget the concert?
What'd you say, Paul?
I said forget this concert.
Pardon me, Paul. Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Steinway. No, I haven't decided yet. I may use yours or I may use somebody else's. Yes, I understand that you're willing to pay me. Well, I'll let you know later. Goodbye, Mr. Steinway.
You mean Mr. Steinway is willing to pay you? Steinway, the piano maker?
No, this Mr. Steinway makes celery tonic.
Celery tonic?
Yes, he wants me to have a bottle of it on the piano when I appear at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, Max Steinway celery tonic.
Yes.
Well, that's a real artistic touch.
Gracie, you've got to call this off. I won't stand for
What'd
it.
you say, Paul?
He said he won't stand for it.
Oh, persecute me as much as you like. I don't mind. Life has never been kind to great musicians. Look at Rimsky-Korsakov. Life must have been very difficult for him, especially if he liked to drink.
If he liked to drink?
Yes. Suppose he had a few drinks and somebody said, "Who are you?" And he had to say, "I'm Rimsky-Korsakov."
Yes, that's even hard to say when you're sober.
Yes.
Look, Gracie, you can't go through with this. It's musical suicide.
Oh, pardon me,
Critics
Paul,
will pan
pardon
me.
me. I'm
They'll
gonna
be on
see
my
my
ear.
little darling
I
John.
can't begin to tell you what to...
Well, it looks like we can't stop her, Paul. Yes, sir, that's what it looks like. We can't stop her.
That's great. They used to call me the king of jazz, but from now on I'll be called the Mussolini of music.
Hi, fellas, what's doing? Bill, look, we can't make Gracie give up the concert. Have you any ideas?
Well, let me see, George. Have you tried threatening her?
Bill, I told her that if she went through with this concert, she could start looking for a new husband.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't you try threatening her?
Well, what do you want me to do? Threaten to beat her? Threaten to whip her or to stop her?
Oh, now you can make a worse threat than that, George.
What?
Threaten to take away her Swan soap. Now, Gracie knows that Swan is the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles, a regular suds and whips.
Bill, this is serious. Paul Whiteman's reputation is at stake.
Yeah, what do you think those critics are going to do to me?
The critics? Well, Paul, as the bar Swan said to the dirty dishes, here's where you get panned.
Oh, no.
You know, George, Swan is really great in that dishpan because it's purer than finest Castiles. And because it suds faster than other white floating soaps. And because it's purer than finest Castiles, it's kind to your hands. Helps keep them soft and lovely. So use Swan for every soap and water job around the house.
Bill, if you can think of a way to keep Gracie from playing the piano when Carnegie Hall say so. And if you can't...
Wait, George, I've got it. Listen, I'll have a microphone in the wings. And every time Gracie starts to play, I'll start to sing and drown her out, huh?
You'll sing?
Oh, sure, Paul. Something popular like, break it off, break your bar, Swan and two. Break it off, break it off. That's an easy thing to do. Break it off. Well, George, you get the idea. I sing about Swan breaking in two with a simple twist of the wrist, so you can use half in the kitchen for dishes and cleaning and the other half in the bathroom for your hands and face.
Bill, I've got enough trouble. You're not going to sing about Swan at my concert.
Oh, well, Paul, if Gracie plays the piano, the whole concert will be your Swan song. Goodbye.
Well, he was a big help. I wish I knew someone who could just talk Gracie out of this.
Say, wait a minute. What about Deems Taylor?
Deems Taylor?
Yeah, you know that big shot with the Allegro and Donnie Mob?
Do you really think he can help us?
Sure. If Deems tells Gracie not to play, she won't play. Nobody in music packs more weight than he does.
Well, I wouldn't say that, Paul.
Slip of the tongue, George. Slip of the tongue.
Oh, Gracie.
In here.
Gracie, I'd like to talk.
Later, dear. Herman and I are busy discussing the opera, aren't we, darling?
Well, that's fine. Discussing opera with a silly duck. Oh, yeah? Well, you're one with feathers.
Well, I don't blame Herman a bit. He thinks we don't know anything about opera, Herman. Well, come on, darling. Let's show him. Ready? Da 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 da.
Oh, no.
Da 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 da.
This is awful.
It is not. Don't mind him, Herman. I think you're wonderful. Come on. Da 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 da.
Paul Whiteman. There's a big hit from a new picture. And the boys come up with their arrangement of Taking a Chance on Love.
Gracie, will you please give up the silly concert?
Well, no, George, and let's not argue any further. You just don't realize that I've got music inside of me.
Okay, but do you have to let it out in Carnegie Hall?
It's just no use, George.
Well, maybe I can't talk you out of it, but I'm expecting someone here any minute who can. Deems Taylor.
Who?
Deems Taylor. Don't you know who Deems Taylor is?
I don't even know who Deem is.
Gracie, Deems Taylor is one of the finest musicians in America.
I don't care. He can't talk me out of it.
But he's important. He's even composed a couple of operas.
He has?
Sure.
Real operas like Carmen or Miranda?
Yeah, the names of his last two are Faust and Luce. Come in.
How do you do? I'm Deems Taylor.
Well, come right in, Mr. Taylor. I'm George Burns, and this is Gracie.
Hello, and you can't talk me out of it.
Well, Gracie, in fairness to you, I think I ought to hear you play before we begin this discussion. Would you?
Oh, well, gladly. This is the piece I'm going to present in Carnegie Hall.
That's all of it?
Well, yes. Didn't it do something to you?
Certainly did. I'm sure it did something to Chopin, too, and he's not even here.
You see, George, Mr. Taylor thinks I'm wonderful.
You'd better straighten this out fast, Deems.
Right. Gracie, I'm a man who has devoted his life to the classical traditions of music. In fact, well, many people refer to me as a long-haired musician.
Oh, well, that's not nice. They shouldn't make fun of you just because you haven't...
Gracie.
Well, he hasn't.
Never mind.
No, I mean that I'm qualified to defend those traditions. Really, Gracie, you shouldn't play in Carnegie Hall.
Why not?
Well, may I tell you a little story?
Well, can George hear it, too, or is it, you know?
Well, no, this story hasn't even a trace of, you know. It concerns a young man of my acquaintance, a real virtuoso.
Oh, doesn't drink or smoke, huh?
As far as I know, he doesn't even chew gum. But that's beside the point. For years, this young man has been trying to get into Carnegie Hall. 12 hours every day he sits at the piano. No food, no rest. But he doesn't mind that. Only one thing bothers him.
No cushion.
He doesn't need a cushion. Gracie, don't you understand why I told you that story?
Well, of course I do.
Good.
You want me to give the poor man a ticket to my concert?
George.
I know, Deems. That's Gracie.
She must be so confusing to come home to.
You said it.
Well, you see, Mr. Taylor, I don't have to practice like that poor man. Mine is a natural gift. My whole family is musical.
Indeed.
Oh, yes, indeed. It only took my sister Bessie 5 years to learn to play the cello.
Well, isn't 5 years rather long to learn to play the cello?
Oh, I don't think so. Not when you consider that for 4 years she thought she was supposed to blow into it.
George!
I know.
Baffling, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, well, come in.
Hello, Gracie. Oh, I see you have company.
Mr. Taylor, this is my girlfriend, Tootsie Sagwell. I hope you'll forgive her if she seems a little forward. You see, she's simply crazy about musicians and other types of men.
Say, Deems, you were talking to Gracie, remember?
Oh, yes. As I was saying, Gracie, your musical talent is at least open
He's cute,
to...
isn't he, Tootsie?
Yeah. I love his dimples.
Girls, would you please let the man talk? Go ahead, Deems.
Thanks. Well, as I was saying, Gracie, your musical talent isn't what you might
Don't you
call...
think his eyes are nice, Tootsie? Trustful, sort of like a St. Bernard.
Yes, and I adore that straight nose and that high forehead.
Look, would you girls just stop dissecting me just long enough for me to finish a sentence? As I was saying, Gracie...
Don't you love his ears, Tootsie? He's got so much character in them.
Gracie, I'm telling you for the last time, I want you to listen to what Deems is saying. And don't interrupt him again.
Yes, dear. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Deems.
Well, as I was saying, music, Gracie, is a thing that one either has within him or one doesn't have at all. Now, I want to be fair in your case. I've given the matter very careful consideration, and, Gracie,
You
it's
don't
my
think he's
honest
too old
opinion-
for you, do you, Tootsie?
Well, that I'm not quite sure of, Gracie, but don't worry, I'm planning to find out.
Oh, no, you're not. I'm getting you out of here right now. Goodbye.
Wait, Deems. You can't go. Think what will happen to music.
Brother, I can't stay. Think what'll happen to me.
That's fine. Now look what you've done. Chase Deems Taylor right out of the place.
Well, George, this time I don't blame you for being upset. I know you feel awful about it, and I do too. Really, I do.
Well, you ought to feel awful.
Oh, I do. He was the nicest fiancé Tootsie ever had. Oh, don't cry, Tootsie. I'd do anything to get you a fella. Anything. I'd even give up my musical career. Oh, Gracie. Oh, Tootsie.
Oh, nuts. Cut it out.
There's a rose that grows on no man's land, and it's wonderful to see.
The rose Jimmy Cash is singing of is the girl who walks through the heat of gunfire, through the fog of shell smoke, who stops her march only to help the wounded. The girl who wears the Red Cross. It's the Red Cross which comes to the boys to heal their wounds. The men and women of the Red Cross stand beside our boys, beside your boy, in every battle zone. But they may stand there with empty hands, with no way to give help now that the need is greatest, if they are not supplied with the weapons of mercy. Give. Give to the Red Cross so that it may continue to give to the fighting men it serves.
Mid the war's great curse and the Red Cross nurse, she's the rose of no man's land.
All right. How do you do? I'm for security. How do you do? Paul Whiteman phoned and said you were coming, Mr. Turby. Do you think you can keep Gracie from doing this concert?
Mm-hmm. Certainly. I will tell your wife that I, myself, will play for Mr. Whiteman.
You don't know my wife. She thinks she's a better pianist than you'll ever be.
You must marry some very peculiar people, Mr. Burns.
Yes, that I do. Oh, Gracie.
Yes, dear.
Gracie, I'd like you to meet Senor Hosea Turby.
Senor Turby? Oh, aren't you the man who sells my husband his cigars?
Gracie, Mr. Turby sells very few cigars. Maybe not a half a dozen Coronas a month.
Oh.
I am a pianist, Mrs. Burns. And I would like to play in Carnegie Hall next week instead of you.
Why, Mr. Turby, do you want to ruin Paul Whiteman's concert?
It wouldn't ruin it. Really, I play the piano as well as you do.
Oh, please.
But I do. I do. Suppose we have a little contest to decide who is the better pianist.
Well, that's all right with me. And may the best woman win.
Well, this is what I've been waiting for.
Now, I want you to listen very carefully, Mr. Turby.
Well, go on.
Well, that's the piece I'm going to play in Carnegie Hall.
That?
Well, sure.
Esta mujer está completamente fuera de
I know just how you feel, Jose.
Now, I want you to listen very carefully, Mrs. Burns, while I play.
Oh, come in.
Hello, people. What goes on?
Shh, Bill. Mr. Turby is just about to play something on the piano.
Oh, gee, it's Jose Turby, the maestro himself. Oh, Mr. Turby, this is a great thrill for me.
Well, thank you.
Yes, you see, I'm studying the piano myself, and, well, I know you great artists don't usually divulge your professional secrets, but, would you tell me something?
Certainly. What is it?
Well, Mr. Turby, do you wash your hands with Swan? Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. You know, money can't buy a purer soap.
Bill, for heaven's sake, Mr. Turby is just about to play.
Really? Oh, well, I want to hear this. I wouldn't stop Jose Turby from playing.
Thank you.
Oh, wow! You're a murder maestro. Murder! How long have you been playing the piano?
I started to play when I was 3.
Get that, George. 3 years old, an infant prodigy, a baby. Did your mother bathe you with Swan, Mr. Turby? Well, Swan is great for bathing the baby, you know. It's so pure that it's kind even to a little baby's tender skin. So you know it must be great for your hands and face, your tub or shower. Well, go ahead, play.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Turby.
What now?
You're from Spain, aren't you?
Yes.
Of course, you've visited Castile.
Certainly.
Well, you know, Jose, women have long considered Castile soap the standard of purity. But Swan is even purer than finest Castile.
All right, Bill, that's the last straw. Out.
Well, okay, George, I'm going. Well, so long, Mr. Turby. Certainly was a thrill to hear you play.
Well, I'm sorry about the interruption, Jose.
Oh, that's all right. I understand.
Oh, good. Well, go right ahead and play.
Oh, yes, by all means, Mr. Turby.
Now, quiet, Gracie.
Well, Gracie? Well, it was nice, but of course I'm a concert artist and I don't know anything about that boogie-woogie.
Boogie-woogie?
Well, it's obvious who won the contest, Mr. Turby, but don't take it to heart. You play very nicely with some of your fingers.
This is too much.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Turby. I have to get back to my girlfriend. She had a very sad experience today. She lost her fiancé, and I promised her I'd do anything in the world to get... Hey, wait a minute. Mr. Turby, would you really like to play that concert?
I certainly would.
Well, I think it might be arranged.
Really? You'll let him do it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy, that's all I want to hear. Wait till I tell Whiteman the good news.
Good. Now everybody's happy, and the concert will be a true artistic success. I will lay them in the aisles. Well, so long.
Oh, wait, Mr. Turby, that isn't all. Have you heard the expression, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours?
Mm-hmm. No, but it sounds like fun.
Well, it means swapping favors. I've done you a favor. Now, I want you to do me a favor.
What do you want me to do?
Well, I want you to make love to a girl.
That's a favor?
Yes.
What sort of a girl is she?
Well, what sort of a girl do you like?
Mm-hmm. Well, I like them blonde. I like them brunette. I like them tall. I like them short. See what I mean?
Well, how wonderful! I found a man for Tootsie.
Tootsie?
Yeah, and just wait until you see her. She's so different. She's right in the other room.
I must feast my eyes on this little tomato. Ask her to come out.
Oh, Tootsie. Yes, Gracie? Mr. Jose Turby, a piano player, is out here. He'd like to meet you.
Yes, Tootsie, please, come out.
Well, all right.
Here I
am. Please, go back in. Mrs. Burns, may I ask you a question?
Yes, Mr. Turby?
This is, a girl?
Well?
I will go even further. This is, a woman?
Well, she's my very dearest friend. And don't forget, either you make love to Tootsie or I'll play the concert.
You are a very tough character, Mrs. Burns.
Well, what do you say?
This is the most difficult decision. If I don't make love to Tootsie, you will play the concert.
Yes.
If that happens, I will never be able to hold up my head again. Everyone will say, Jose Turbi is a traitor to music.
Oh, come, Mr. Turby. Are you a coward?
Enough. I have made up my mind.
Well, here's Paul, Jose. I told him the good news.
Yes, Jose, and I can't thank you enough. Well, you saved my life.
Mine, too. For the first time in 3 weeks, I can relax.
Oh, what a wonderful feeling. Now, Jose, how about playing the number we'll hear at my concert?
Okay, boys. This is the number you will hear at Carnegie Hall next Tuesday night.
Shh. Quiet, everybody. Go ahead, Jose.
George and Gracie will be right back, so I've just time to remind you that although Swan is purer than finest Castiles, it's economical for every soap and water job around the house. In the bath, Swan gives more soap per penny than any leading toilet soap tested. And in the kitchen, Swan saves over easy-to-waste package soaps. So help save your hands, and incidentally save your pocketbook, with Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. And now here they are again, George and Gracie.
George, I've been thinking things over. This concert is coming between us.
It certainly is.
After all, I'm first a wife and second a musician.
That's right.
My first duty is to you.
Absolutely.
Well, here's a ticket in the first row at Carnegie Hall next Tuesday.
Good night,
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your CBS station at the same time again next week, when Gracie will be guest soloist in Paul Whiteman's concert at Carnegie Hall. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And don't forget to listen to Swan's other show, Tommy Riggs and Betty Lou, next Friday night over another network. And now, till next week at the same time, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, hi, Swan. How about you? Night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We have more classic radio coming your way next.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got
This is Bill Goodwin speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen, Jimmy Cash, and Paul Whiteman and his music. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, this is the Burns' first morning back home after a brief visit to the East. And George is still sound asleep upstairs, peacefully unaware that at this moment a meeting is going on in his living room. Yes, you guessed it. It's that splendid organization whose very name is enough to give George the horrors, the Beverly Hills Uplift Society.
Oh, order, girls. Come to order, please. It's time for the meeting.
Oh, but Gracie, we want to hear some more about New York.
Yes, it must be such a fascinating place.
Oh, well, New York is just a city, girls, exactly like Los Angeles. Only New York grew up and Los Angeles grew sideways, that's all.
Gracie,
maybe you better open up the meeting. It's getting late.
Oh, yeah, of course, Tootsie. All right. Ladies of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society, you may now consider yourselves opened up. Girls, while I was away, Vicky Gruskin took the minutes of the last meeting, and I think we all owe her a round of applause for her splendid work. Girls, a big hand for Vicky Gruskin. All right, that's enough, Vicky. I'll proceed with the minutes. The last meeting of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society was to have been held at the home of Mrs. Millie Taylor. But when her husband heard the news, he raised several objections and a floor lamp. However, the incident ended harmlessly when Mrs. Taylor grabbed it out of his hand and knocked out 3 of his front teeth with it.
My husband has a perfectly vicious temper. He certainly has.
Yes, Millie. I'm afraid that someday he'll get really mad at you and you'll kill him.
Gracie, go ahead with the minutes.
Oh, yeah. We then decided to hold the meeting at the home of Mrs. George Burns, who was away in the East. So we entered through a second-story window.
It was such fun, Gracie. I hadn't shinnied up a drain pipe since I was a little girl.
Really, Blanche?
Yes, and that was easily 10 years ago.
Oh, easily. Well, to continue, the meeting was declared open by Mrs. Bagley, who wore the same old Kelly green dress and a fascinator that obviously wasn't working. Oh, really, Vicky? You shouldn't let personalities creep into the minutes.
Well, I'm sorry, Gracie.
Well, you ought to be. There's no need to say things like that about our members. They know how badly they dress.
Well, I didn't mean it.
Oh, my, there's the door. Excuse me, girls.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. Gosh, it's wonderful to see you again.
Oh, did you really miss me?
I should say I did. I missed your sparkling wit and your madcap gaiety, which is so similar to my own.
Oh, you're sweet.
Honestly, I haven't had a good laugh since you left. May I have one now?
Well, of course. Go right ahead.
Now I feel better.
Oh. Well, did you ever make a trip to New York, Mr. Postman?
No, but I do correspond with a man who lives there, a Mr. Charles Atlas. He gives a course in bodybuilding.
Oh. And, you take it?
Oh, no, I just write in and give him helpful hints. My body doesn't need improvement. It would be gilding a lily.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just forgot how strong you are.
No offense, Mrs. Burns. This uniform hides my physique. But in the gymnasium, all my friends say that I'm built like a brick chimney.
Well, Mr. Postman, I'm just sure you are.
Well, here's your mail, Mrs. Burns. A little package from New York.
Oh, a package. Oh, good. I'm so glad it came in time for the meeting. Goodbye, Mr. Postman.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. And remember, keep smiling.
Come back to order, girls. Come back to order. Now, in a little while, I'll have a surprise for you. But first, we'd better get on with the meeting. Is there any old business?
Yes, Gracie. We still haven't decided on the official club flower for us girls to wear.
And we haven't decided on our official club greeting either.
Well, girls, I had a marvelous idea about that. We can combine both of them.
Really, Gracie? How?
Well, now, for the club flower, we can wear goldenrod. And for the club greeting, we can sneeze at each other.
Oh, I think that's splendid, don't you, girls?
Hello, Gracie.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was interrupting a meeting.
Oh, it's all right, Bill. Girls, you all remember Bill Goodwin?
Gracie, look. Don't ever have Charles Boyer over here. You know, if they do that for me, for him, they'd blow the walls down. Well, I really came over to see George. Where is he, Gracie?
Oh, he's still in bed, Bill. You see, he couldn't get any sleep on the train last night. He just laughed all night long.
He laughed?
Yes, he shared his berth with my darling little duck. And you know how ticklish George is.
Yes, Grace. Well, I'll go wake him up.
Oh, now that you're here, Mr. Goodwin, we simply must take advantage of this opportunity.
Must we?
Yes. We know that you and Tootsie were in New York together, and we're dying to know whether you two lovebirds became more intimate.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Tootsie. I hardly saw you in New York, except when I happened to pass in front of the YMCA.
But you gave me a cake for my birthday, Bill.
Well, Tootsie, I give all my friends a cake for their birthday. Gee, it's a wonderful soap, isn't it? Yes, sir, there's nothing like a cake of Swan, the new white floating soap. It's purer than finest Castiles and a regular Suds and Whiz.
Bill, I've got a new use for Swan soap.
You have, Tootsie?
Uh-huh. I put it under my pillow so I'll dream of you.
Well, gee, thanks, Tootsie. You know, I dreamed about you last night.
Really?
Oh, yes, I dreamed that you were Mrs. Goodwin.
Oh, how wonderful. Bill, what were we doing?
Washing the dishes with Swan.
But I was Mrs. Goodwin, huh?
Oh, yes, Tootsie, you were Mrs. Goodwin. You were washing the dishes, and I put my arms around you, and I said, "Let me help you, Mother."
Mother?
Well, sure, and you said, "No, son, with Swan in the dishpan, I don't need any help. Tests show that Swan suds faster than other white floating soaps, and it's so mild. And just look how it helps keep my hands soft and lovely." And I said, "That's right, Mom. Use Swan for every soap and water job around the house."
Bill, how could you dream that I was your mother?
Well, I'll tell you, you remind me of her a lot, Tootsie. The way your eyes light up when you break a bar of Swan in two. The way you walk as you put half of it in the kitchen for dishes and cleaning and the other half in the bathroom for your hands and face, tub or shower. Well, goodbye, girls.
Oh, wait, Bill. You said I remind you of your mother. Well, don't you always kiss your mother goodbye?
Oh, sure I do.
Well?
Well, Tootsie, see me Mother's Day. So long, girls.
Goodbye, Bill.
George. Hey, George.
Oh, hello, Bill. I was just coming down. Gee, what a great sleep I had. Home sweet home.
Yeah.
Gracie probably has a wonderful breakfast all fixed. Come on, have a cup of coffee with us, Bill.
George, I wouldn't go in there. Let's have a cup of coffee at the drugstore.
Oh,
huh?
not me, Bill. It's too noisy and crowded down there. I like peace and quiet.
George, don't go in there.
Why not? It's my own little home. My own little love nest. Come on, Bill. Oh, no.
This is Paul Whiteman. Here's a song you've heard before and you'll hear again. So the right title for it is, I've Heard That Song Before.
Gracie, this is fine. After all I've said, our very first day home, you invite those idiotic women here again.
George, I've asked you 1,000 times not to call them idiots.
And I've asked you 1,000 times not to invite them here.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's compromise. You let me invite them here, and I'll let you call them idiots.
Well, I'm at the end of my rope. I've tried arguing with you, threatening with you, pleading with you, even bribing you. I don't know what else to do.
Well, let me see now. Why, it is difficult to think of anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you tried beating me?
No.
Oh, you see? You're always ready to give up.
Yeah, but beating you is one thing I can't do.
How do you know? I'm not as strong as I look.
Okay, I know when I'm licked. I'm done, finished, through.
Aha, that's the old spirit. Now you're talking, attaboy.
Gracie, won't you please give up that club?
Oh, if you only knew the girls better, you wouldn't ask me to do that, dear. Why, do you know that they're waiting for me to come back right now so they can give me a medal?
They're going to give you a medal?
Mm-hmm. To commemorate my concert in Carnegie Hall last week.
Who thought that up?
One of the very women you were just saying all those nasty things about.
Who?
Me.
Well, that's very sweet of you giving yourself a medal.
I know, but I deserve it.
Oh, sure.
I made musical history when I played the piano in Carnegie Hall. Why, one critic said I was as good as Post.
As good as who?
Post. He said I played with all the depth and feeling of a Post.
Oh, yeah, great musician, that Post.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, skinny fella.
Well, I don't know him.
Know him
I
well.
wish you'd come in with me and watch the ceremony, George. The postman just brought the medal, and it's simply beautiful. It's got a picture of me on one side and a picture of a fish on the other.
A fish?
Yes. Well, you see, I figured out that I played the scale 196 times in Carnegie Hall last week. And, well, if you count the scales on the fish...
I get it. You don't have to finish it. I see the whole thing.
Well, will you come in with me and listen to the presentation speech, dear?
Well, why not? I might as well be good and miserable.
Girls, I took the liberty of bringing my husband back into the meeting with me. All those in favor of making him our guest of honor will please say aye. All those in favor of just making him a guest, please say aye. All those in favor of not throwing him out, please say aye. Aye. Sit down, dear.
Thanks.
And now, girls, it's time for my surprise. The presentation of the Gracie Allen Memorial Achievement Award.
Well,
it's a medal which will be given each year to the member who has done most to make our club famous. Now, I'm the first winner because I not only made a recent contribution to musical history, but I also bought a medal.
Oh, that's only fair.
But who knows what the future may hold. Next year, Frances Fowler might win it with those new false eyelashes she invented.
Oh, they're really nothing, Gracie.
Why, I think they're clever. You should see them, George. They have 48 hairs, and when you go to the market, you pull one hair out for every ration point. Then, when your eyelashes are all gone, you
stop buying.
Yes,
I thought that's a very clever idea.
Yes. Well, now, who'd like to make the presentation speech? How about you, Clara?
Oh, Gracie, I simply couldn't. I've never made a speech.
Well, it won't be hard. All you have to do is read what I wrote.
You wrote the speech yourself, Gracie.
Every word of it. Here you are, Clara. Go ahead.
Ladies of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society, it is my privilege to pay a greatly deserved honor to our most talented and illustrious member.
Oh, please.
Oh, no.
No artist of our time has done more to further the cause of music than this charming and lovely young woman.
Oh, my goodness, you're making me blush.
Her accomplishments have thrilled the nation, yet through it all, she has remained modest and, what's this word, Gracie?
Oh, let's see. Oh, unassuming.
Oh, thanks. She has remained modest and unassuming.
Oh, and don't think it's been easy.
Oh, no.
So I take pleasure in presenting the Gracie Allen Memorial Achievement Award to Gracie Allen.
Well, girls, I just
don't know what to say. Your wonderful tribute has caught me completely unprepared.
Well, I've had all I can stand. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, so help me. If something isn't done to get those buzzards out of my hair.
Well, brother, they've really got you talking to yourself.
They certainly have, Bill. I'm going nuts. That club is making an old man out of me before my time.
Oh, now, George, why get so excited about a few months?
Well, no fooling, Bill. If Gracie doesn't get rid of that club, it's going to ruin my health.
Say, wait a minute. George, if you pretend you're ill, maybe she'll throw him out.
Oh, she'd know it was a phony.
Well, she wouldn't if her own doctor told her you were sick.
You mean that Dr. Lewis, that absent-minded crackpot?
Well, now, wait. Gracie thinks he's a great doctor, even though in his case the MD does stand for mentally deficient. Now, you get him to tell her the club is ruining your health, and that's the end of it.
Bill, you're wonderful. I love you. I could kiss you for this.
Oh, George, please remember you're a married man.
Oh, how could I forget it?
Jimmy Cash has got the right thought about any loose talk you might hear around these days. I don't believe in rumors. It's okay, Jimmy. We'll go right ahead.
It's a dangerous thing to repeat what you hear when you don't even know what they're saying is so. Somebody else told somebody else, and that somebody said we were through. But I don't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you. Wherever I walk, the people all talk, and they're saying it's time that I knew. But I don't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you. For everyone knows how a rumor grows when the gossips are doing their worst. But somehow I feel if the stories were real, you would have come to me first. Whatever they say, and say what they may, still it isn't a thing you would do. So I won't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you.
What's keeping that screwball Dr. Lewis? I phoned him an hour ago.
Now, stop worrying. He'll get here, and when he does, you'll be a free man.
Bill, if this idea works, I'll owe you a big favor. Just name the thing you want most, and I'll get it for you.
Oh, you couldn't do that, George. You don't know Paulette Goddard that well.
Oh, well, in that case, Bill, well, here's Dr. Lewis. Hope he isn't as absent-minded as he used to be. Come in.
How do you do? Is this the residence of Dr. Lewis?
Well, here we go again. Look, you're Dr. Lewis, and I asked you to come here.
Oh, to be sure, to be sure.
Yes.
Well, I can see that an examination won't be necessary. You were mistaken, that's all, mistaken.
Look, Doc, all I want you to do
I'm
is...
sorry, but you're definitely not going to become a mother. Better luck next time.
Hey, Doctor,
Good day.
wait a minute, Doc.
No, I can't wait. I have an appointment with a man named Burns. He phoned and said that his wife's health was bad since he hit her with a club.
Dr. Lewis, you're just a little mixed up. This is Mr. Burns, and his health is bad because his wife's club holds its meetings here.
Ah, I understand. My wife belongs to a club, too, and I often say to her, Catherine, no, that's not her name. Isabel? No. Nancy? No.
How about Mrs. Lewis?
I'd love to meet her. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
Doctor, look, all you have to do is tell my friend's wife that he's sick.
Ah, but is he? I have to be sure. A man in my profession can't afford to go off half baked, shot, cracked.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh, you're a very nervous man, Mr. Sake. May I call you Pete?
Look, Doctor, I'm George Burns. Go right in there and tell my wife that those club meetings are ruining my health. Got it?
Oh, sure. I never forget a face.
Right this way, Doc. Oh, Gracie. Gracie, a friend of yours would like to speak to you.
Oh, hello, Dr. Lewis. I'm awfully glad to see you.
I'm delighted to see you, too. Who are you?
Well, I'm Mrs. Burns, don't you remember? I introduced you to my girlfriend, Tootsie Stagwell, and you took her out.
I did?
Well, you didn't exactly take all of her out, just her tonsils.
Doc, will you please tell her about Mr. Burns' health?
Oh, to be sure. Mr. Health is proud of his Burns, and he should be. First degree, you know.
Goodbye, Dr. Lewis. Outbeat it. Scram.
Well, I'd like to, but I haven't time. I've got to go.
Now, wait a minute, girls. What Dr. Lewis was trying to tell you is this. These club meetings of yours are ruining George's health.
Why, no.
Well, it's true. Why, when I walked in here this morning, he was as sick as he could be. He looked up at me with that pitiful little face of his, and he said, "Water, water, bring me water." So I gave him water in a bar of Swan, the new white floating soap. That's purer than finest Castiles. I knew he'd want that. George knows that money can't buy a purer soap.
Bill, are you serious? Is George really sick?
Gracie, I don't want to frighten you, but poor old George is as weak as a little baby. Thank goodness you've got Swan, because Swan is great for babies. It's so pure, it's mild, too, kind even to a little baby's tender skin. So you know it must be wonderful for anybody's hands and face, tub or shower. You just bathe him with Swan, he'll pull through.
Oh, isn't this awful, girls?
Well, don't worry about it, Gracie.
Really, I never dreamed our club meetings were making George ill.
Yes, Gracie. And it's high time you women considered George, just as you've long considered Castile soaps the standard of purity. Of course, you know that Swan is even purer than finest Castile.
Oh, all right, Bill. You don't have to say any more.
Then you'll help him, Gracie?
Well, of course I will. After all, I married George for better or for worse. It would be awful if he got any worse.
Well, that's fine, Gracie. I'll go in and tell him he's as good as cured. Hey, George.
Yeah?
It's all set. Come on, upstairs.
You mean it worked?
Yeah, hurry. All you have to do is get into bed and act sick and no more club.
Oh, great.
Here, give me your robe.
Okay. I'll get into bed. Oh, come on. Get out of my bed, you silly-looking duck. Out. Oh, shut up.
Now, remember, George, get a sad look on your face. We've got to make this good if we're going to fool Gracie into thinking you're sick.
Now, wait a minute, Herman. Now, look, kid, it's sort of a game, that's all, a game. Quiet. For goodness sake, Herman, take it easy. Look, if you keep your big fat bill shut about this, I'll give you a nice sardine. What do you say? 2 sardines? Oh, holding out, huh? Well, 2 sardines is as far as I'll go. Okay, quiet. I'll give you the whole can. Now, go on. Beat it, you little blackmailer. Know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take that little duck. Hey, do I hear Gracie coming up the stairs?
Yeah, I think so. Hurry, get sick. Groan.
Oh,
put something into it. You're supposed to be sick. Groan.
Oh.
George, is that the best you can do? Think of your income tax.
Oh.
That's it. Now keep going.
Oh.
Oh, George, darling, I heard you were terribly sick, dying maybe, so I rushed right up here the minute we finished discussing Mrs. Palmtag's new hairdo.
Oh, well, thanks, dear.
Oh, what's the matter, dear? Where have you got a pain?
All over.
Oh, dear, you couldn't have it in a worse place.
Oh.
Stick out your tongue, George. Oh, my goodness, no wonder you're sick with a thing like that in your mouth.
Oh.
Gracie, come on. You're holding up the meat here.
Now, girls, please. My husband is desperately ill. How dare you think that I'd leave his side to go downstairs and attend a silly meeting?
Oh!
I love my husband, and I'm going to stay with him. Why, if anything happened to George and I wasn't here, I'd never forgive myself.
Thank you, darling.
So we'll hold our meeting right in this room.
Oh, no. No, you're not going to hold it. Those women will have to leave this house.
Well, friends, George and Gracie will be back in a moment. So for just a few seconds, consider your two hands. Yes, I mean it. Your two hands, ladies, are two of the best possible reasons for using Swan soap in the dishpan and for any soap and water job. Swan is purer than finest Castiles. Swan is so mild it actually helps protect your hands, helps keep them soft and lovely. Swan doesn't skimp you on suds either. Tests show it gives twice as many suds in a minute as other white floating soaps. So why use strong soaps? Why spend money on easy-to-waste packaged soaps or costly toilet soaps? No need to when you can get Swan, the soap that's purer than finest Castiles. And now here they are again, George and Gracie.
George, you shouldn't say mean things about our club. The girls are very patriotic.
They are, huh?
Well, yes. Today at the meeting, I was supposed to serve them pancakes and butter. But they were so patriotic, they refused to touch a single pancake. All they ate was our butter.
Our butter? Gracie, haven't you been reading the paper? You can't get that anymore.
Oh, was it butter? We thought it was batter.
Oh.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your CBS station again next week, same time. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And don't forget to listen to Swan's other show, Tommy Riggs and Betty Lou, next Friday night over another network. And now, till next week at the same time, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I, Swan, how about you? Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. KNX, Columbia Square, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.